Hello, everyone, and welcome to MadReaction, Episode 1. Now, you may be thinking, wait, what happened to the other 10 episodes? Well, they're still, most of them are still there, some are not. So we decided, new start, first episode. So, as always, I'm joined by Ralph.
Guten Abend, guten Tag. Hello, shalom.
No. Right, there we are. I've muted everyone. Are we ready then?
Let's go.
Yeah. Okay, boys and girls. Right. Today we're looking at Anne-Marie Waters. Yet again, she's making waves. And also we're looking at an interesting chat with her and a fellow named the War Kettle, which will be quite revealing to our enemies, as they like to call us now. Us and them. They've drew the line. They no longer want to cooperate, so we feel that the gloves are coming off, and so here we go. All right, Ralph, we ready? Let's get into it. First, we're going to look at Anne-Marie and Richard Inman. This was posted yesterday. Right.
He is missed. And the globalist, you're probably doing something right.
You absolutely have to be. It's exactly spot on where you need to be, because we are the moderate voice. We really are, and that's why we're so hated by the mainstream. Partly because we are, as you said earlier.
So the mainstream hate moderates, right? Okay.
Straight off the bat, yes.
Straight off the bat, it's like she's cocking to the MSM, going, "Look, we're moderate. We're really nice people, right?" Mobs.
Yeah, here we go.
Working class people, the elites don't like it when the working class get uppity and start making demands. So that's one reason, but also because we're so glaringly telling the truth that they just cannot have it.
Exactly.
What truth is that?
Yeah,
What truth?
I think that's pretty much it. It's a one-trick pony, isn't it? It's more Islamic cosmic ray guns, isn't it? That's pretty much it. It's more Islamic ray guns plus a bit of a just cool it with the immigration. That's
exactly.
about it, isn't it?
It's basically like, if you just, I don't know. I don't know what Anne-Marie wants to do to all the Muslim population in Britain. I mean, it doesn't sound very nice, does it?
No.
Exactly. And I think one of the things that you bring to this, Anne-Marie, is an intellectual rigor that isn't elitist.
Mode activated.
All right, intellectual mode activated. Robot drone 1. Richard Inman's like, "You're so smart. You're
Loading
so clever.
file.
You're so bright." What's the deal with Richard Inman? Is he like Irish or half Irish? Huh?
I don't know if he's half Irish.
I could have sworn I heard the twangs of little Irish in there. So I asked someone, but I'm just so tired.
He might live in Northern Ireland. I think he lives in Northern Ireland.
I definitely detected a purity spiral thing going on there. So let's keep a close eye on him, right?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, I was talking about the book Beyond Terror. That is an extremely well-written, well-researched book.
How would you know?
And that threatens the they don't want.
I'm sorry, how the fuck would you know, mate? Are you a master of the Western canon? Are you a literary buff? It's a very well-written, well-researched book. I don't want to sound like a complete fucking dickhead, mate. But you're going to call us Nazis in a minute, right?
Yeah.
You're like the man for the letters or something. You're like, "Well done, and well-written book." She's like, "Thanks very much. Thanks very much. Thanks very much." Good morning. Thanks very much.
Good morning. Good morning, dear. Yeah.
Oh, I'll sing you a song. All right, let's go.
To be clever, they don't want people in our movement to be intelligent. Tommy's the same. Tommy. When Tommy does a TV interview, they don't interview Tommy anymore because he destroys them.
No, they don't interview Tommy anymore because he's been fucking deplatformed from every media. Not that he's going to destroy him with the "I'm here to destroy the white race." Wait, donate. #donate. #Sheko donate. No, they don't fucking interview him.
No, this is a very important point. Have you seen Tommy ever do any any real debating, like any kind of like real back and forth, very well on these, interviews he's had.
Do you mean the
Always
bit?
when he's scripted, like when
But
he's
I
scripted,
thought
he's
you meant the
really good.
highlight. I thought you meant those highlights of his intellectual back and forth where he said, "Oh, you geezer, get off me car! I'm going to fucking floor you." Do you mean that kind of debate?
No. I mean, like
Oh,
interviews with like Piers Morgan and that. He never does very well in those things. Yet when he's on his own, and he's got his teleprompter and everything else, he's fine. He seems to, put his coherent point over. But
he's been groomed. He's been groomed from Tel Aviv,
well,
isn't it? He's been groomed because if you notice the last year too, he now does these kind of forced things where they open the hand, they do the wide angle palm movement, right? They open their hand, they drop them. It's like textbook coaching because you look at it, that's not natural. I'm like, mate, you're a working class lad from Luton. No one fucking like you moves like that. I know what you look like when you move. You don't move like that. It's kind of like hands open, palm, making an exaggerated, one shoulder pulls back. You've been coached to do that. Obviously, you've been to some Tel Aviv coaching camp, right? So
well, it's very well paid at least. I remember when he had a lisp back in the early days. Do you ever seen that?
Oh
video?
yeah. Oh, when he was much younger, yeah.
Yeah. It's odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's why they're so afraid of us, and that's why they want to destroy us. And I'll be honest with you, I genuinely think it's not beyond the realms of possibility that a lot of these far-right whack jobs are working for the state.
Are working for the state. Well, I mean, when can I get me checked then, please? Because I'll tell you one thing: I'm a far right whack job, and I don't seem to be getting any. There's no shekels coming my way, mate. So if you think I'm working for the for the government, we need each other to hurry up and pay me. Yeah.
Oh man!
But do you like? But this is what you call. This is that kind of funny bit where people start and they pretend they're like pseudo intellectual.
Yes.
I genuinely think, under some considerations, that these people are far-right whack jobs. Like, what was the first half of your sentence? Almost sounded civil, but then you ended it with far-right whack job. Come on, mate. Come on. Oi, Richard, listen, sweetheart, debate me, mate. Come on. You're meant to be like, come on, Richard, mate, debate me.
Ralph.
I promise I won't make you cry.
If you don't want to stoop to that intellectual height, you could debate me, and I'd probably give you a run for your money.
You'd fucking kill him, mate. You'd slaughter him, yeah? But come on, Richard, show some courage. Less medals, more debating, yeah?
It's the best way of splitting, destroying, and discrediting our movement is get these far-right Nazi lunatics.
Nazi!
Nazi!
But the funny thing is, you said, you know what you said there, Dick? Sorry, Richard. What you said there, mate, was you said the best way to discredit our movement. The best way to discredit your movement is to have your main guys do a lot of fucking cocaine, hang around with lots of foreign intelligence governments, and then pull their pants down, and then try to call cab drivers packies and shit, and then go on video saying, I'm going to destroy the white race while scoring drugs. Call me someone who's not like an expert in PR and optics, but I think that's called a fucking own goal, mate, yeah? Or it's the far right, the far right, they're trying to discredit us. No, you're not, mate. You're really fucking not. Less cocaine, less money on buses, more money to the girls who are groomed, right? That's the kind of thing that's destroying you, yeah? Yeah.
Indeed, yeah. Get rid of that donate button.
To sow discord, to split our movement, to cause problems, to do Nazi salutes and all the rest of it.
Is he on about you? Is he on about you there? I think he might be.
I hope so because I've got a nice yellow piece of paper and my Nazi count has gone to 2. I'm just keeping a Nazi count of here. Nazi count at 2. And you know what, mate, Richard and Mint? Go to Google Images, type in Hamas Nazi salute, Hezbollah Nazi salute, Iranian Nazi salute, and you see lots of brown people running around the world doing the Roman salute. Are you going to call all those Middle Eastern brown people Nazis? Is that what you're going to call them? Because you can see images after images. I'm sure we can pop one up while you're talking. I'll get some images ready for you, Mr. Master.
Demos. They want to do that to give, to give the media what they want, so that they can say, "Look, they're all Nazis." Well, I won't play that game. I mean, at the end of the day,
he's got a point. There's the bad optics in these things, but
correct.
it's like it's not. You're not the victim there, mate.
No.
I've had terrorists try and kill me before, so I'm not worried about a few fat-booted Nazis, saying nasty things on my social media accounts. It doesn't really worry me.
No, I mean, you've put that brilliantly, Richard. And also, I think something else you put really well is that they are the hard left, the hard right, and the Islamists are all the same. They're all
horseshoe theory.
Oh no, but it's not even
Horseshoe.
it's trivariate, tripartite bullshit. So you're telling me Owen Jones and Ash Soccer is the same as fucking some jihadi counter group, and that's the same as Combat 18. You mean what? You mean they're not like you?
This is Majid Nawaz level thinking. This is literally,
Nawaz.
Yeah, it is Majid Nawaz level thinking.
I thought you said Magic Nawaz. Magic Nawaz. This is like Magic Nawaz logic.
Magic Nawaz theory.
Oh, I spent 5 years recruiting for the Egyptian Brotherhood and blah blah blah. Can I have a job at LBC? Can I advise the government? And I spent 8 years in a prison, and they're like, "What the fuck is this guy doing in England, dude?" But this guy just says in the Oxford Union, he claims he was recruiting people. So how do you know he's still not playing a double agent? I'd fucking deport him, mate. He's like, but remember, I'm English. I was born in Essex.
My point is that, like, they're saying that, these Islamists and the far left and the far right are all on the same scale, because Majid Nawaz thinks the Islamists and the far left are on the same side. So
Richard Inman has not been completely IDF'd yet.
Yes.
Like having UVF, but she's been completely IDF'd, yeah? She's been IDF'd because what's common is she's saying anyone who's anti-blues must be the same.
Citizen.
The far left,
Have you had your IDF yet?
Have you had your IDF yet? Yeah, I don't know. It's not too late. Not too late to have your IDF treatment, mate. There's some IDF treatment for you. So because he hasn't had his IDF, yeah, he has had his leg spread and be fully fucking IDF. But she on the other hand, yeah, she's like, hang on a minute. The left-wing progressive left are like, Viva la Palestine. The far right are going, do you mind if other people don't run the fucking ethno state? And she's going like, but I took my shekels and I've been fully fucking IDF'd, yeah. So, bless him.
We have to remember what we are fighting against. We're fighting against tyranny. We're fighting against the repression that we're feeling from all these different areas, including from our own state. We're fighting for the old British tradition of liberty.
Ooh.
Hang on a minute.
What do you mean by that, Anne-Marie?
Steady on last. What tyranny and what oppression? Do you mean for your sexual preferences?
Yeah.
I mean, who the fuck is oppressing you? Who is suppressing you? Who is being tyrannical towards you? Nobody at all.
No.
You're proxying for the IDF, right? You've had your IDF treatment, right? You're feeling much more perky with the IDF, yeah? Right? You're fully fucking IDF top. And now you're saying, the tyranny. We've got Ash Soccer, Owen Jones going, liberate Palestine. You've got these white guys going like, dude, can all you guys get the fuck out of our country? And then you've got they're going like, my IDF, right? Nutter. She makes no sense, does she? She actually makes absolutely no sense. She's arguing like a liberal libertarian. So if you look at the political compass and plot of views, she's anti-racism, anti-sexism, pro-LGBT, pro-Q plus IDF. So you look at that, and you go like, right, so you're fucking pro-Zionist liberal, are you? And why do you call yourself for Britain? First of all, and secondly, what is it? Why do you call yourself conservative and the right-wing movement? There's nothing right-wing about you. I mean, completely nothing right-wing. No, she's conserving nothing except her sexuality, right? That's it, isn't it?
I mean, that's the liberty she wants, right? Or that's what I'm guessing. Or we'll find out. I'm guessing.
Absolutely.
Freedom.
Absolutely.
Anything that threatens that, I will oppose it.
Absolutely, I understand. I mean, looking at it's really interesting because looking at the chapter in your book where you talk about the solution and you're talking about
Oi, not that word.
No.
Steady.
S word.
Not the S word, mate. What solution?
But the thing is, there was one solution. The solution. Is it the one solution? That sounds like
that sounds like
an absolute solution, which could be considered
which it shall not be said. It shall not be said.
What solution?
Of education, apply the law equal to all, control immigration, and so on. It goes on. I mean, it's something. When I set up a little group called UK Freedom Movement, I'm still pushing it from time to time. The main things that we focus on are almost exactly the same. It's freedom, equality, democracy, and sovereignty. And
so you mean, whoa. So freedom, democracy. What was the other one, mate? Sovereignty. And equality.
Yes.
So basically, you're saying you're against the ethno state. You're against British people. You want giving up the country to anyone. You want equality.
Yes, anyone.
So anyone can have it as long as they're free. So you want to run around like I saw you that day in the cenotaph, drunk. You were drunk off your fucking face, looking for a fight. I was watching you. I was there with you. And then Lister came up to Richard Inman going, "Careful of Ralph. He's a fascist. Lister's obviously changed his tune. Now he's going, "Oi, fascist. Beware of Ralph. He's much further right." But that day, Antifa Lister was kind of tugging at Richard's skirt going, look, Ralph, fascist. And Richard turned to Lister. He was literally a foot away. Richard turned to Lister, looked at me and said, "Oh, he's brown." What do you mean, mate? No, literally, Richard said to Lister, "Look, he's brown. He's an Asian guy. What do you mean? Fuck off." And Lister's like, "But he's a fascist. And now, of course, Lister would be like, "Fucking hell, fascists beware of Ralph," right?
The final evolution will be, Ralph, beware of all left.
Beware of the
communism.
Harsh theory. No, but the absurdity. But he was there, and he obviously had a drink. We'd had a bit of a drink, hadn't we, Richard, that night? Oh, Richard, we'd had a bit of a drink. And off you went down the fucking cenotaph looking for a bit of an argy-bargy. So you're telling me, when you say freedom, tolerance, and accept, what you didn't look like you were looking for freedom. You're looking like you wanted a bit of it, mate. I was right there, foot away from your face. And Lister warned you about me, and you should have listened to Lister. You should have hashtag listen to Lister, mate. You should have listened to Lister.
Yes. I mean, that's it, isn't it? He's anyone can have as long as you come to this country and you believe in these abstract values, you can have it. It's open doors, basically. Yes.
Yeah, come on in, you know. Yeah, no, just come on in, right? It's all equal. We're all equal.
They are true British values, and they're historical British values.
I knew it was coming. I knew it.
True British values. True British
values. That, you know.
Do you know for
sex goes back to the Enlightenment, right? You know.
Richard, I don't want to come across as a complete fucking cunt, Richard. But if I introduce you to just a bit of British history, for the majority of the 2,000 years after the fucking arrival of Christianity, it was a monarchy and a range of feudal monarchies. There was no such thing in British values for 1,500 years. After the Enlightenment, it was an empire and imperial. It's only the last 50 years has it not been either imperial or fucking full-on monarchy at war with everyone. The French, the Belgians, the Dutch. The English fought fucking everybody. The English fought everyone, took about 75% of the world's surface area, and none of it was based on freedom, democracy, intolerance, or anything. These values, the shit is not part of British history. British history was imperial, it was regal, it was Christian, and it was done by domination. Anno Domini Dominus, right? Nothing about
there was no homosexual rights or anything like that. You would have been executed.
It was fuck. You were going to go down on your knees to the king, or you were going to get beheaded, mate. So that's what was going to happen to you. And I'm not talking ISIS beheading. I'm talking proper English beheading.
There was no transgenderism. There was no love and peace and that. There was
none of that nonsense, right?
You broke the law. You did a rape or you committed murder, you would get your head chopped off.
You looked if you look at the genetic record in the Monroe system, if you look at the DNA genetic record, England led the world for the DNA cull. So basically the English started culling their own to actually increase their genetic stock. It took about 800, 700 years to do so, and it was done by pure dominance of the might is right, and that's what created the brilliance of the British. Yes. No freedom, no like my LGBTQ. No women were getting any IDF treatments. There was no free IDF for everyone. So this thing he says is just nonsense.
It's just every liberal says this. Like British values are somehow like just innate in all of us for the last 1,500 years.
God bless British imperial values. You know what? I want Anglosphere 2.0, mate. That's what I want. So I can see prosperity with the resurrection of empire, right? And you will know your place. You'll be reintroduced to to Oliver Cromwell, mate. That's what you're there. So
and that's really, really important. I think the other thing is, I think one of the things that, again, I've never pushed it in the movement because I don't want to put people off unnecessarily, but I think.
What happened there? Matt, have you fallen asleep? There's an awkward silence. Oh, he's back.
I'm here. Oh, sorry. It did skip. I'll go
Oh,
back.
did it skip?
I'm still pushing it from
Yeah,
time to
yeah.
time.
Right.
The main things that we focus on were almost exactly the same. It's freedom, equality, democracy, and sovereignty.
So nothing to do with British, nothing to do with British history and values.
Two different values. They're historic.
No, they're not, Richard, you absolute idiot, right? Do you know, I'm the first thing about English history. English history was a battle of kingdom after kingdom after kingdom until the ultimate kingdom created ultimately the union of the British, and then the British decided to go fight every other European kingdom and then take over the world. Now, that's about 95% of British history by time. This other recent thing is not true British values. It's a small blip and an apology in the history of the British Empire.
Find me tolerance,
Yeah, it's just a little correction, right? Yeah, so I was talking to mate Jamie from, Jamie, who's like a bit perturbed by this kind of like, German versus anti-German history. He's like, nah, he's going to double down the other way out, Jamie. He's going to come to the park on Churchill's birthday, dressed in an Imperial Churchill outfit, announcing the formation of the Second Anglosphere Empire. So, so when you say British values, mate, I don't know which values you're talking about or which British history, mate. Not the same history I know about, yeah? So,
historical British values. And, that's really, really important. I think the other thing is, I think one of the things that, again, I've never pushed it in the movement because I don't want to put people off unnecessarily, but I think getting back to, I guess, the Christian heritage of the British Isles, which I think has had a huge influence on who we are as a people.
Yes.
And again, we're sort of very.
There was no tolerance during that time, though, was there?
Is this the point in which you're going to introduce the fact that it is homosexuality is a sin? Or shall I wait till I hold my breath? Are you a real Christian, my brother and Christ? But are you about to tell Anne-Marie Waters to repent and stop her wicked ways? Or are you going to do something really clever, like try to rewrite the Bible? Come on, let's hear you.
I doubt it.
The basic principles, sort of Sermon on the Mount, 10 Commandments. Again, most of our nation are now completely ignorant of those, and that's really, you can't blame anyone but the church for not doing their job properly and not teaching people properly. But I think the sort of Christian heritage of the UK is something that I think we have to talk about, and we have to, again, look at it warts and all. It's not a completely unblemished history or past.
I'm sorry. I don't want to fucking be the one who casts the first stone here. But am I forgetting the sixth commandment, Richard? Isn't "thou shalt not commit adultery" the requirement? Isn't the sixth commandment honoring human sexuality and not cheating on one's spouse or committing adultery? Am I right, Richard? Need I remind you of the sixth commandment, sweetheart? Yeah, right. Fucking Christian, my ass.
That has made us who we are, and again, we think that, that the British state started in 1945 with the National Health Service.
Well, liberal myth of the nation state did, I guess.
Yeah, but what's he laughing himself? What's funny about that? Why does he think liberalism started in 1945? I mean, is he?
He knows his liberalism only existed since 1945. That's why.
But it didn't even show up to like much after that, really. In any sense,
I know.
I mean, what is he on about? Like, so he doesn't get the Bible, he doesn't get Christianity, he doesn't have English British history, but he's the one going to tell us about British values, right? Okay. Oh, tell us a story.
What's going on at the minute,
Oh God, the NHS. We'll never be allowed to criticize the NHS again.
No. That's going to get you about 10 years in prison. Anne-Marie, I know you push for time, but I want to talk about very quickly about what's happening in Scotland, because
I think that was the end of it.
That was it, wasn't it? Yeah, I think now they're just gonna. I think at this point they go circle jerk about going on a big long march up to Scotland. And you know what? You guys go march on the street, circle jerk about it. You won't find any of us over there because we're busy taking over the internet so we can save the nation. I hope you enjoy your long walk to Scotland. I'll be walking for 100 miles and miles and miles there. But let's get on to the juicies.
Yes, the juicy bit. Right. So we have a clear distinction there. They're still throttling at the mouth about, the far right. And this was a stream that was done 2 weeks ago, and it's in slight contrast. We'll do a bit compare and contrast between Anne-Marie and what they think now and back then. It's quite interesting. So let's have a go and share audio.
Can people, and I don't want to, I'm going to try to say this very politely. Can all of you people please stop calling each other far right when I can show you almost none of you are? Thank you for your time. So please do carry on.
Right. So here we go.
Okay, and we should be live. Good afternoon, everyone. As always, I am joined once again by the lovely Anne-Marie Waters. Hello, how are you today?
Hi, I'm very well, Jay. Thanks. How are you?
I'm very well. It's been a little while. We planned to do this before Christmas, but we're both busy and so on and so on. So
one of those things, isn't it?
It is, yeah. But other than that, you've been well. You had a good Christmas, good New Year.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, mate. But did you just say, how are you? Oh, I'm fine, thank you. Oh, kiss, kiss, kiss. Oh, it's just Christmas. One of those things. One of those things. Yeah. So you're sitting there, a man on the left who's an atheist who loves his drugs and everything else, with 3 different flags, who just hates religion.
None of them are British, by the way. None of them are British flags.
Neither British. No British flags on one side. Neither of them going, life was going well, but it was just that thing called Christmas. Yeah, it just gets in the way, right? But but we're just going to protect British culture. Oh, you're like, are you fucking with me? And you're not a Christian, and you have no right to speak about preservation of traditions of Britain and England at all whatsoever. Yeah? It's just one of those things, like Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah? But when Ramadan comes on, then you guys get really excited. And the Muslims who are at least given Monday they comes along. You guys lose your shit. Both of you get your panties in a bunch. You all get really excited. The IDF treatment kicks in, and the IDF treatment's in full flow, and out you come in full fucking tranny Islamic ray guns. You get really hot and bothered by Islam. That's it. But Christianity, Christmas, it was just an inconvenience, love. It was just an inconvenience. Fucking stuff. Sorry.
I moved house, which is in January, which is fantastic, and got a whole new start. So I started the year on this big high, and I think a lot of people did, because it was 2020 and it was.
Oh yes, we're having such a great time in 2020. It's never been more fun.
Going to be this great year, and I certainly started off that way. And then out of nowhere comes this crazy thing that no one's ever had before. And
Christmas. What is this crazy thing that you've never found before? Was it Christmas? I know you're shaking your hands around. Was it Christmas? Oh, you mean coronavirus? Okay, yeah, all right, sorry.
Corona mass.
Corona mass. There you go.
Well, actually, before we get to that, because this fits into the conversation we're going to have a little bit after. But before this whole Corona thing happened, Donald Trump took out the general of Iran and everything.
Straight away, first minute. Oh, hey,
that IDF stuff. One part of the great thing about the IDF drug is, right, not only are you going to get pregnant, but you're going to get doubly. If someone else has also got the IDF treatment, when the two of you get together, you immediately think of assassinating foreign Islamic leaders. You immediately go, hey, my IDF's kicking in. I'm feeling a bit perky. Why don't you just conduct a drone strike on someone half the way around the rest of the world?
It's like the Manchurian candidate.
They probably my IDF's trickling in. I'm getting little tinkles down there. Let me just drone strike someone, right? So you guys with your IDF treatment going, let's kill some fucking Iranian guy halfway around the world. Then you come around going oh, but we've got to complain. Oh, all these Muslim bombers coming here, running around bombing
us. British values of tolerance and inclusion.
Yeah. Tolerance for thee, but not for me. But then you go on crying, they're gonna watch this Muslim guys. They keep running around trying to kill us all the time. Like, dude, can you like stop blowing them up and shit over there? You can imagine some of them might be a little pissed off, right? If you keep blowing them up over there, they're gonna come here and they're gonna return it. How about they stay there, we don't bomb them, and we stay here, they don't come here? How about that? How about call that like peace or something, right? Like peace by separation. But no, the IDF is they both got IDF, haven't they? They've had their shots.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Right.
And as always, Anne-Marie, a true dedicated to her word and understands the true issue with Iran and what goes on there. She's straight away like, big up Donald Trump, you're correct. I was just like, yes, I was well happy to see that video. And that caused a lot of
Fucking chicken hawk here.
that was a good sound effect.
Fucking hell.
controversial within the right.
And then look at her, she's like, yeah, hell yeah. Oh.
Get him, kill, get the Iranians, get the Iraqis, get Hamas, get Hezbollah, kill. I want another IDF shot.
My masters would really love it.
Unity, they're all just like frothing at the mouth, going, "She's a war hawk. She just wants war like everyone else. She isn't like different." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
hang on, mate. Mad, you were there on the street. Wasn't Jay telling us how he's like, I'm just a liberal man. I want freedom and tolerance. I just want to take a lot of drugs. I want to take like a shitload of drugs, and I want to go to a lot of gay bars. Ralph, you're ruining my liberal dream. I want gay bars, lots of drugs, and lots of sex. And then the other hand, you're getting all like fucking twitching down there because you want to conduct drone strikes on people around the world. Dude, what's wrong with you? How much you pay for the IDF shots, mate? How much is a quarter? How much is 2 lines of IDF? Yeah, can I get a couple of lines of IDF, mate? I want a couple of those IDF bills, yeah, because it seems to really perk you up, mate.
And then now we're in this Corona situation.
Well, look, we can talk about the Iran thing. I mean, look, no, but they don't listen. Is the first point. You know, the people, they just jump to hysterics. And I made another video to clarify. I am not recommending that Britain go to war with Iran.
Thank you. Thank you very much for not going to war with one of the most theocratic states and then hope to be safe here when they said, like, the people who invented boy soldiers, the Iranians, the ones who invented child suicide bombing, let's not go to war with those. Sounds like a fucking smart move because they're going to sneak lots of little boys in. They're going to blow us up. How about that as a good idea? Thank you, Anne-Marie. Thank you for not getting hordes and hordes of Iranian boy soldiers. Maybe Banksy is grooming them.
Oh, God. Wait, when did Banksy leave Iran? Was it 7 or something? Oh, my God. Maybe he is.
That's why he doesn't. Maybe he can't go back until he's finished his mission.
Oh, God.
Maybe that's it. We found the Manchurian Iranian. This is the Manchurian Iranian hour. So
it's all clicking into place.
It's all coming together now, man.
And I would be very happy if the Iranian regime was brought down because it is I even said
I don't want to go to war with Iran, but I'd be very happy if it just totally was destroyed.
Destabilize a destabilized area in one of the biggest Shia country, destabilized. You'll be happy. Why? Because they want to throw you off a building? Is that what the motive? Or is it the IDF kicking in? Why the fuck do you want to interfere with them? The whole idea is let them do that thing over there, man. Just let them do that thing over there. Let them be all Iranian and stuff and let them go like full Ayatollah and whatever they want to do over there, right? Stop like shooting them and killing them. I mean, call me a fucking Christian, but
it's just
sorry.
Oh man.
I would rather it was brought down by the people, by the Iranian people who are
yes, with the help of certain intelligence agencies, maybe.
Who will bring it down. And I think that Donald Trump introducing trade sanctions and punishing Iran may well prompt the people to bring down the government. Exactly. It's an absolute poison. And,
according to who?
So here you are, you're not elected for any political office. You don't represent the British people. You're not even British or Irish. You stood for election and got 220 votes. And you want to topple a foreign government? I don't know what you want to call it.
One step at a time.
One step at a time. And who put you up to this anyway? Who put you up to this, love? Who told you that you should be toppling Irish? Who told you this? Is it someone tell you this? I want you to tell us who told you this. You heard about Dan, the iconoclast meta, right?
Yes.
And you heard about the handbag opens and the handbag falls open.
Handbag gate, yeah.
Handbag gate. So Alphabet Annie, wait, we know about handbag gate. Videos coming your way soon. But we know about handbag gate when your handbag's open and all the Israeli badges and stickers fell out. So is there something that's missing in this story? Is there oh, hang on, the guy on the left who likes a lot of drugs, he's easy to turn, isn't he? He just wants, right? He just said, give me some money, give me
my drugs, open the pubs, and everything will be fine.
I just want to live somewhere where it's warm. Like, give me an Israeli flag, and I'll do what you want me to do. I'll interview the other one. The other one's saying, forget the badges that fell out. Forget the badges. But can we just nuke Iran? Right?
First minute. Let's nuke Iran.
For Britain. Let's nuke Iran. For Britain. Let's assassinate the Ayatollah. For Britain. Like, how about we fucking don't do that? How about we just not do that thing you're talking about, right? Good thing you're never going to get elected, love.
Oh, my God. Oh.
I think people have this idea that, especially national, patriotic people have this idea that we can just shut down and have no involvement with the rest of the world at all. We can't. I mean, look, you're in Cyprus, I'm in the UK. The world is now different. It's interconnected. And
that's exactly what we're
trying to get away from.
That's exactly what differentiates you and us. We don't want such a thing. We want the British people to be sovereign in Britain. We'd like the Navy to withdraw and just patrol the English Channel and the North Sea to make sure it shoots down anything coming in. We'd like the British people to just be British in Britain. If you want to wander around the world, you should go live with Jay, mate. Why don't you do that, Amory? Why don't you go move in with Jay? You got the same flag, same allegiance, and then you two of you should take a trip to Tehran. And I think you should campaign on the streets of Tehran for the people to overthrow the Iranian regime. I bet you don't have the courage of your convictions to go there, Amory. You're a proud woman. You want lesbian female rights. I want you to go there, don't wear hijab, walk down the streets of Tehran, and let the people listen to you to rise up. Why didn't you do that? Tell you what, Banksy can help.
Build a new nation state with that in mind. We need our friends, we need our allies, we need our supporters in the world. And I think that Iran is a toxic poison on this world, the Iranian regime.
Why? Could we get a clarification? Why is it toxic poison to you? I'd love to know this. I really would. Trump is, he's far from perfect, but he's someone I admire. Because he does what he thinks is right. I think that's really to his great credit. And I would love, for the sake of the Iranian people, for the Iranian regime to be brought down by them and with economic.
Then why don't you go to Tehran? Go to Tehran. If you really feel that way about Tehran, don't send our troops, our missiles, and our people at home over here. You go to Tehran, sweetheart. I want you to go to Tehran. You stand in the middle of a great, rise up. Come on, rise up. I want to see what happens to you in the 24 hours. Don't bother with the Foreign Commonwealth Office. They can't help you after that.
Sanctions, if the economy suffers really badly, then that is more likely to happen. Sorry, Jay. I'm clearly not on silent here, which I usually am.
So at least it's not the dog.
No, well, it might be in a few minutes. You never know.
Sorry, Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs handbook. Don't fucking show up to my meeting apologizing you're late with a cup of coffee in your hand. Yeah? So, same thing. Turn your fucking phone off before the stream. Yeah, come on.
I mean, that's what I love about your videos is you do them just perfectly and you speak your mind and you get your point across really, really well. And
Bomb Iran.
Same with the China video. After this all started with the Corona thing, you came out and you're like, yeah, we need to talk about this, sanctions and so on. I was just like, exactly. Not enough people were talking about that.
You want to overthrow the Iranian government, topple the world's largest Muslim theocracy, and then you're going to take on the world's superpower as well? Come on, I got to hear this. Come on, so, all in a day's work, yeah? That IDF sounds potent as fuck, Bill.
Oh man, it sounds like a real high. I mean, delusions of grandeur, man.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
It sounds like a global intelligence effort.
At the moment, and the other problem is there's a lot of just mainstream media, just people in general are just trying to be all like, we need to work together and solve this. Which, I do agree with, but also at the same time, we also need to realize that where this came from, where it started, how we got in this situation in the first place, and pointing fingers in the correct direction.
Yeah, let's start with
Oh
liberalism.
yeah, let's
I can help. How about liberalism? We can go back to 1642, Somerset in law, and an Englishman created this wonderful notion of liberalism, but he didn't invent it for other people. And then what he did, he gave it to fucking everyone else after the empire. Bad move. So become a liberal, restore the ethno state, and things will be just sweetheart. You could half the Royal Navy size if all it had to do was patrol the fucking English coast, right? It wouldn't have to do very much work, right? You could bring back half the aircraft carriers. You wouldn't have to do any work, right? But no, off you go. We'll bomb Iran, and then we'll on our way to China. We're going to take
now
out
everyone
China.
you get liberalism and you get liberalism. We'll bomb liberalism into you.
Yeah. I mean, China's not in this together. You know, this is the thing with the sort of happy clappy, we're all alike types.
Happy clappy sounds like a sexual thing you guys get. I don't know what the fuck happy clappy is, but it sounds like something you get when you take too much IDF and you guys sleep around in your liberal malaise. Happy clappy sounds like the kind of downstream for the physiological effect.
Well,
Okay,
I mean,
sorry, Matt.
did you hear what she said? She said we're not all alike. My God.
Hey, there's hope.
Oh,
There's hope.
Holy shit.
Shit, good Lord. Could there be a race realist in the making here?
We're not all alike. Oh,
see it
but it's
opening.
only
I see it
ideology,
opening.
isn't it? I think that's as far as it goes. So you think it's
My values.
we're getting ahead of ourselves. You know, that's not a
Shit.
You know, the Chinese state is not a pleasant thing. You know, this is not, what are those little bear things that used to run around? What were they called?
Yogi Bear.
Oh, yeah. I think that's
movement?
I think it's a gay subculture, isn't it?
What-
Bears?
what-
Are they the guys with mustaches who drive the motorbikes? I don't know, man. You tell me.
What are these little bears that run around? What?
I think the gay guys are motorbikes with helmets. I don't fucking know, mate. I don't know what they are, but like, you know, we just don't want any of those bears, right?
Lala and Po were two of them.
Teletubbies! Teletubbies!
This is the
Teletubbies nationalism.
tuned into Teletubby International Relations. Wow, 101. Teletubby 1, get Iran. You get China. Bull sounds like.
And then they start clapping again.
Bo is clearly sent to China for obvious reasons, right? And he's called Kung Po when he goes to China.
Oh.
Oh my
What
God.
were they called?
Teletubbies. Oh my days.
Teletubbies.
Why do we need Teletubbies? What is the context of Teletubbies in this? What do we need them for?
I'm telling you, mate, we're not on the right drugs. We've taken the wrong drugs. All this healthy, clean living, mate, it's not working. I want some of these idea pills. These idea pills, like, do they have little Teletubbies on the pills?
Is this what 2 years without alcohol does to you? You just become. Do you not understand the relevance of Teletubbies in international relations?
Oh my God, yeah, it's Teletubby policy. Yeah, hey, # 4% Tubbies.
For the Tubbies, is that what we're going to call them now? For Tubbies.
Oh, I'm trying to wipe out the imagery from my head, mate. I can never watch that show again. I can never watch that show again. Where's No Chance when you need him? We need to make a Teletubby skit out of this. Wait, the lads with the skills, you're in the chat. You know we're calling for. Where's Nick on Wash? Where are the boys? Where's Lucy Brown? We want a Teletubby. If you want a Teletubby, we need a Teletubby on Biomedia. Make it happen. Coming to you soon. Teletubby nationalism.
I don't know why I don't
90s
feel that
entertainment for you there.
Yeah, you know, this is not that.
Yeah.
China are a provably, demonstrably brutal dictatorship.
Are you absolutely insane? China and India are the two longest standing supercultures with archaeology of 8,000 years. I put a link in for this moment for MadFest.
Yeah.
China has single-handedly, by creating the world's strongest with India ethno-state, taken its GDP per capita from the 1950s to become racing to become number 2 and then number 1 in the world. Are you telling the Chinese people, look at that fucking curve, sweetheart? Take the Teletubbies out of your hand, hold back on Paul, put Paul back in the Foreign Office. Paul, sit to the Foreign Commonwealth Office. Paul, stay there for a minute. Hold back. Paul. Are you telling the Chinese people that those results are bad? Are you fucking insane, sweetheart? The Chinese people, they can build a hospital and a railway station in 48 hours from a standing still start. They're most advanced nation technologically. And you're saying, oh, they're authoritarian because I can't have my Teletubby gay party. No Teletubby tea party. There'll be no Teletubby tea parties. Yeah, the Chinese people will not tolerate such shit because they put the collective before the individual. And it looks like China has low crime, has a lot of fantastic social statistics because they're looking after number 1 first, right?
It's almost like it was, Imperial Britain. It's resembling that, isn't it? Yeah.
It's almost like this crazy nation that puts its people before anyone else and keeps making them richer and richer. Let's not do that. Let's have a Teletubby tea party.
Oh man. Right, let's get back to it. And there we go. Sorry, guys. I had to. What was we up? Yeah, right. Let's continue.
On world dominance and world power, and you have this sort of lefty idea that let's all work together to solve these things. Well, yes, it's all nice in theory, but in practice, actually, what we have to look at what caused it. Where did it come from? It came.
Where did it come from?
Came from China. What happened when it was discovered? China cracked down and silenced the doctors. What happened when China said that there was no human-to-human transmission? The WHO multicultural.
Before you try to go all serious sausage on me, I'm sorry to do this, Matt. This is a moment of seriousness. Could you stop it for a second and just briefly play the link I put in? Because I think this is a really important intellectual moment in international affairs. So we need to get very sober and serious right now. And before this woman tells us another thing more about international relations and any such thing, I think we need to look at the framing idiom she uses in international relations.
Absolutely.
Definitely, we need to look at the framing intellectual kind of framework, really, if you like, of how she views foreign relations in case she's ever elected. So I think this fundamentally captures that deep strategic thinking that underpins Anne-Marie Waters. So if you don't mind, I just put...
Oh, this is catchy. Dude, I like that.
Oh, sorry about that. I think that was Thea's. Oh my god. Sorry, mate. Sorry, man. Oh my god. So, well, there you have it. And, just to be clear, from the other stream the other night, Jay was like, hey, dude, your conservative ethno-state is ruining my desire to go to a lot of gay clubs. I love gay clubs. So, Teletub, gay nationalism, this is the future. Yeah. Vote for Paul Britain. This is what you're going to get. International relations, pissing off fucking millions of Iranian child soldiers, taking on the world's superpower, and a bit of a Teletubby pride, man. Do it for the tubbies.
For tubbies.
For tubbies.
For tubbies movement.
In Minecraft, I would be hunting those little Teletubbies with Minecraft Lugers right now, mate. But that's just me, yeah.
His land backed up China in that lie, and China was letting flights leave, and it's including from Wuhan, bringing this knowingly allowing this disease to spread around the world. And yet we're supposed to now team up with China while it covers up its own involvement in this, tries to rewrite history, carries on, and this is the crucial point, carries on behaving in the same way, so that this is going to happen again. The same disgusting habits. SARS came out of these disgusting, unhygienic places in China. Mm-hmm. And so did this one. So, the point is...
I don't want to sound complete, but do you think you're going to try to stand for a politician in Britain and you're going to insult the world's largest nation and call them disgusting and dirty? Do you think that's the basis of good relationships between China and Britain?
No.
You really think that's good diplomacy? You disgusting, filthy little people. Are you insane? I mean, have you got your head screwed on right? Do you think the Chinese people will look at you and ever forgive you? You won't be able to even read their facial expressions. You're never going to deal with them, love, ever. Just go away. Sorry.
Put up and don't tell the truth. It just continues and continues and continues. And China continues to get away with it while we all run through the long grass together.
No. We could have just shut the borders on our end. China could have tried to send them. We just said no, send them back. Done.
Yeah.
No harm to China, no harm to us.
Peaceful trading between two ethno-states sounds like a beautiful world model for peace, right? You come do a little bit of shopping, you go home. You're never voting here. You're not changing. Chinese will never be taught here, and English will not be taught there. End of, right? No need to fire weapons, nothing like that. You let Chinese people come here, spend their money at Harrods, and go
China
home.
Be China, not enforce liberalism on them like you're trying to do here.
Correct.
Look, I mean, first it's Iran, now it's China. I mean, we've seen this recently as well. Like, everybody's like trying to force China to become more liberal. I mean, the Hong Kong protests, like
it's almost like this IDF drug has some really serious side effects. It makes you really happy. It makes you want to put on these little Teletubby skirts and do all sorts of gay things. And then when you come down, you want to go start like fucking international wars around the world. So I think the side effects of this IDF drug, there's some really bad side effects, man. I think you need to like maybe detox off the IDF drugs, right? There's some really bad come down effects, like attacking China and like assassinating Iranians. So bad drug, man, bad drug.
It's pathetic. It's so childlike and naive, and that's what it is. It's naivety. It's I'm a happy clappy, so everyone is, and there's no, the Chinese regime is nice, really. No, it's not. No, it really isn't.
Not at all.
It's naivety. I don't want to be a negative person. I don't want to see bad in everything and everyone, but I observe reality, and I can see that the Chinese government is not nice people.
Oh, yeah. I don't get why. Like, don't get me wrong. People say that because you know how back in the Cold War, Nixon went to China. It was basically sort of it was better to trade with China because of the whole split from Russia and whatnot. So we were like, oh, we'll go trade with China. It makes sense. We'll try and win them over with capitalism. But since the end of the Cold War, we've instead of reevaluating what we're going to do with China, we're just like, oh, we'll carry on trading and let them just carry on. And
I'm sorry, Jay. I'm sorry, Jay. Have all those kind of like Teletubby tablets you're taking in the island gone to your fucking head? It was 10 or 12 years, if I remember correctly, of diplomatic isolation post-Cold War that Nixon brokered so that China and the United States would not enter an arms race with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Are you not trying to say we should go into full isolation mode and let the world's ascendant superpower? What are you talking about, mate? Are you taking too many Teletubby tabbies? Is that what you're doing? China is non-imperial. It, like India, all it does with its armed forces, it protects its borders. Do you see a lot of Chinese soldiers running around Africa? Do you see a lot of Chinese Indian soldiers wandering around the Middle East? Do you see them wandering around any other country? No. You see them only in border conflicts. They're ethno-states. They only want to use their armed forces to protect, in China's case, the South China Sea from American imperialism or a threat from Japan. You don't see. Do you ever see Chinese soldiers running around in the world? Do you ever see Indian soldiers? And they're the two largest army air forces. They don't go anywhere. They just do what an ethno-state does, which is defend their fucking borders. Right? And he's saying, no, let's impose liberalism. Let's get them all tableted up. Let's spike them with some IDF, get those drinks as cocktails, spike them with a bit of IDF and the cocktails. Let's all go to war, gung-ho. You guys are fucking war hawks. That's what you are. They pretend they're liberals, but they're not liberal at all, are they? They're imperialist liberals, right? They want to impose liberalism on you by force, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a word for it. It's called globo homo, I believe.
That's the word I was looking for. Another side effect of the IDF
treatment.
Shut down not just their massive re-education centres and having no civil liberties and everything else that goes on there, but these wet markets. Yet again, it's another wet market that causes the problem.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I think I have to sneeze. No, I don't. Okay. I only said it because I was certain I was going to. The wet markets. Oh, good God. I mean, it's the very definition of horror. It's horrific. I've watched some videos of these places, and I know since China went back to work.
Why do you? Right. Okay. Right. from an Englishman's perspective, I do not want to eat bat soup. I'm sorry. I would not want to eat a bat just like battered in like a deep fat fryer. No, thank you.
No.
But who am I to tell the Chinese what they can and cannot eat?
Yeah, look at it this way. Do you think the Chinese people, look at superculture, Indians or Chinese, do you think they want to have baked beans on toast? They look at baked beans on toast going, you guys are disgusting animals. Right? They look at the baked beans on toast and go, you eat that shit? We'll eat the bats. Right? So to celebrate human biodiversity, you have your chips and your baked beans on toast and let them have the bats and whatever else they eat and leave each other alone, right? It's like, and why is she watching videos of wet markets? It sounds like a fucking strange thing to do, mate. It sounds like a disgusting habit. I would never look at. I'd just turn shit off right away, right?
Yeah, I've seen some of these videos and I don't agree with it because I'm an animal lover and I've seen some of the things. But again, it's not for me to decide. Not for me to decide what they do with their, So why are you doing it? Why is this? Why are you whipping up this further over it? Why?
Side effects of the IDF treatment.
Well, it's very, very potent, this IDF treatment.
We've seen reports that the wet markets are back as usual. The only difference being that tourists are not allowed to film anymore and or take photographs anymore. So look, China has no intention of changing, and I've seen videos come out of.
Did you freeze?
there.
Hello. I'm here.
I think you froze, or I think it
Alright.
froze or something.
All right. Okay. I'll just keep going then.
Of things. I think someone summed up to me the eating habits of China as anything with a pulse, and it seems to me that that's the case. We're just completely going. Yes, we eat animals in the West, but this is something different. There's no standards, there's no regulation, there's no animal welfare at all. It's not even a concept.
Yeah.
And this is what happens. And while I'm not Nick Cohen's biggest fan, he did write a good article in the Observer on Sunday saying, surely.
I think your Lycra mobile. I think your
In
Lycra,
another country.
I think your Lycra mobile is fucking up, mate.
My Lycra mobile. It's all right. What?
I'm just kidding.
What?
We're going like, is this woman serious?
okay.
She's going to go, she's going to go tell the Chinese culture with their first dynasty. What is it? Almost 2,400 years or
Yes.
something before Christ. You're going to go tell
Yeah.
a civilization with its first kingdom 2 fucking millennium before European civilization had Christ, for example. You're going to go tell them what to do, and you think they're going to give a shit? Do you really think the Chinese people are going to listen to an Irish lesbian from Britain who's not elected and say, "Oh, I don't like the way you run your markets. Oh, they're not very clean." Are you fucking insane? Right? Would you like Chinese people to do that in Ireland? Would you like the Chinese people? Sorry, go on, mate.
Yeah, I mean, for a party that's supposedly for Britain, it seems, she's spending a lot of time talking about other countries and what we need to do to them. Where's the inward thing? I mean, China, again, leave China to China, leave Iran to Iran, and let us sort our problems out here.
Or just reflect the symmetry. Would you like to
yes.
see all the Irish markets replaced with lots of bat soup? And would you like the Chinese people to overrun Ireland, because they could overrun it, right? There's 1.5 billion of them, and just change everything about Ireland and make it all to do with bats and soups and things. Would you like that? No, you would not. Would you like that in Britain, even though you're not, English or British in any sense? Would you like for Britain to have Britain overrun by Chinese people? No. Why are you telling the Chinese people what to do? What's wrong with you? I mean,
Yes.
It's nuts.
It makes absolute sense. And you can't take animals out of the wild either. Animals who would never have been anywhere near each other in the wild, and put them next to each other in tiny cramped cages and expect nothing to go wrong. It's
exactly.
They've got to be held to account for this. And I wonder what the bill would be, because we're going to potentially go into the biggest recession we've ever known.
Oh yeah.
And we haven't quite realized yet, I don't think, what the economic fallout of this will be.
The reason why we're going to go into the biggest recession ever known is because we're a globalized system. It's the main reason, because everything's so interconnected. Everything is just in time.
Just in time, the markets will recover from systemic shock and anyways correction. But the thing I don't understand is the world GDP share of China is 15 or 16% and growing, and it's going to be it's number 2 and eventually number 1. The final economy picture is China number 1, India number 2, the United States number 3. That's the final rankings of the world GDP projections. You're telling me this little Irish woman here with the rainbow Teletubbies is going to tell one of the oldest supercultures and the largest economic power and nuclear power, China can cover, I think it's 70% right now of the world's surface. India's like 60-something% with nuclear weapons. You're going to go tell them what to do in their domestic affairs. Are you for fucking real? Do you think that's good for Britain? Do you think Britain should be looking at harmonious relationships with a non-imperial country on the other side of the world? You got the big boy on the other side of the world who's not coming and fucking with you. Do you want to go there and go fuck with them? I mean, these people are dangerous, right? This thinking is absolutely dangerous, right? It's almost like it's suicidal. It's almost like there's some global, like you say, the global hobo, Trump-led kind of, almost like they're all
singing the same sheet.
It's almost like they've all got the same drug dealer. It's almost like they've all got the same clinic they're getting treatment from, right?
Could reach 20% unemployment here in the UK, according to some predictions. Wow. And that's going to mean, of course, lower revenue for the government, lower expenditure by the it's disaster. And the bill should be put at China's door. However, I don't know about the lockdown. There's a separate question, isn't there? Is this full lockdown the right response? I'm not sure. I haven't been sure all along, but I'm not privy to the information that Boris Johnson has.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm not sure. But it does seem very extreme and a very almost reckless. But I think the governments have just been copying each other, except Sweden. Interestingly, Sweden hasn't had a lockdown and apparently has no different numbers to anyone else. So you've got to worry and wonder whether this was the right decision. Was it a rash decision? Was it a decision that actually pandered to the media? Because the media have been hyping this up, as they love to do. And I think partly Western governments may have been responding to the media and fear of being held responsible.
Oh, that's a very dangerous notion there, isn't it, Anne?
I know.
Can't say that. Can't say that the media's got control over governments now, can you?
Well, it sounds almost like one moment. In one moment, she almost sounded like a race realist, and for a moment there, she almost seemed to understand the cathedral and knew reactionary thinking. For a second, I thought, "Hang on, do you actually understand the cathedral?" You almost sounded like you did, right? You almost get there. But I have a question because I was inspired by my brother Nordic Nightmare in the chat. Hail Nordic Nightmare! Is that because he said, China, first Iran, then China, where next? I don't know. Is she interested in bombing and attacking Liechtenstein? I want to know if she has any kind of
Switzerland. It's always been neutral. We've got to get rid of Switzerland.
Let's get rid of Switzerland. They've always been neutral. They've kept the gold. They've always hidden the gold. But Liechtenstein's fucking begging for it, mate. Liechtenstein.
The 5 people in Liechtenstein.
Yeah, they just fucking do my head in, those Liechtensteinians or whatever they're called. I think we fucking nuke Liechtenstein. Let's go get Liechtenstein. Is that part of Anne-Marie's foreign policy for Britain? Get Liechtenstein, or is it China and Iran? You want to take on the entire Shia sect theocracy in Islam and the world's biggest nation? Yeah, love coin. Vote for Britain. Totally vote for Britain, man.
For deaths by the media, and went along with the lockdown. And if the lockdown does prove to have been the wrong decision and the economic fallout is catastrophic, then the government will be blamed for that as well. And actually, the media, as usual, has a huge part to play in this. It's making people panic.
Calm down. Take a step back.
I don't know how many people are dying from this, because it seems that everyone who dies now is characterized as a coronavirus victim, when it may not be the case. We would have.
Is she laughing as a British politician? Is she laughing as a fucking British politician? Are you just telling us that the entire government, the entire health department, all the workers in the NHS are part of some big conspiracy theory? That all these people die despite having to have a formal coroner's fucking investigation? You're saying the entire system is lying, and that anyone who dies of like you. I mean, dude, you sound like you've been taking too many of those Teletubby tabs.
5G caused.
Yeah, 5G caused it. Yeah, and we've got it. I'm not happy until I hear foreign policy in Liechtenstein. That's the thing. I think she's holding back.
Terminal illnesses, and coronavirus happens to be the thing that sort of pushes it to the end, if you like.
Someone's suffering from a terminal illness, they're not very well. A flu comes along and knocks them out and kills them. Yes, is that not what killed them then? Like, they had the terminal illness. Like, this is conspiratorial.
But it will be registered as coronavirus death, and we don't actually know really what's going on, and that drives conspiracy theory when governments.
You're doing it right now. What are you on?
Behave suspiciously, and they are, because it doesn't make any sense really to lock us down while still allowing flights to come in, and of course minority groups are not being held to the same standard. Illegal immigrants are still coming over from France.
See, all those things you've just said, we don't have to worry about at all here. So I'll give you an example. Everyone is on lockdown. They told that, which is quite weird because the way the church interacts with the government don't like to annoy the church here.
Right.
Because the church have sort of like the control of the people, if you know what I mean. So even the government turned around to the church and went, "You're shutting. Like, we'll let you do some things, but under tight regulation." Blah blah blah. They shut all the airports down. The airports have been shut now for about 3 weeks in total already, and we're going to be looking at another 2 weeks as well.
So strict then.
Yes. So ours, we just basically shut everything down pretty much straight away. Unlike other countries that sort of staggered it across.
Unlike Britain, you mean?
Yeah, I think the biggest problem is it looks like, look, if you compare, like
Yeah.
my best mate is Swedish, right? So he's been in the pub and everything else. I know what's happening in Sweden. Obviously, the missus is German. You can see what happened. It looked like the Brits were caught short-handed by the government, and then they reacted.
Yeah.
That's what looks like happened. There's no more conspiracy in that other than the Conservatives going, fuck, we got caught short. By the time they played catch-up, they'd have let too many people in. No one knew until the cruise ship arrived in Italy what the epidemiological spread rate was. Obviously, the Germans have a different density pattern. So do the Swedes. The Swedes went for herd immunity and they were fine. So, but no one knew that before. So you can't do this 2020 hindsight vision thing. Looks like the Tories were caught short and that's it. Right? That's it. There's nothing deeper than that. There's no conspiracy. Everyone's not dying of coronavirus. No one has taken over the entire media and there's no such thing. People are losing their shit. We've already hit the peak now of the infection. Later on, 6-9 months down the road, we'll find by investigation in parliamentary committees who fucked up. That's what's going to happen, isn't it? We're going to find who fucked up afterwards. And obviously there'll be mistakes made and there'll be political damage. Nothing more than that. There's nothing deeper than that behind the conspiracy. What is, if anything, alarming to me personally, and I haven't had a chance to deeply review it, is the amount of draconian legislation being slipped in.
Yes.
And that may not be reversed.
That is the worry, isn't it? I mean,
that alarms me. If you look at the extensions to the bills, the question is, it isn't clear that they're going to be reversed out and when. So that's but this idea that people are secret or someone could have done better under pressure. Good Lord, the Prime Minister got it. Are you telling me the Prime Minister sacrificed himself for some fucking conspiracy theory? He almost died when he's gonna have a baby because I mean you guys are nut jobs, right? No one believes that shit, right? I mean, unless you're one of those 5G
flat just look at him now when he came back to work, Boris Johnson. He looked totally different. Like,
mate,
he didn't look very well at all.
Mate,
like,
if I turned on my camera right now, you wouldn't like. I mean, anyway, that would be a bad idea in a normal day. I've had it for 5 weeks, and it's pretty shit. But I'm not going to die, right? So I mean, yeah, we know it. And looks like the Tories were caught short, and then obviously because of austerity, the hotels weren't staffed. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Nothing deeper than that, right? Just I look at it as inefficiency and ineptitude, incompetence by our government. Nothing malevolent, right? Yeah, they're not bright enough to be malevolent, right? This is just conspiracy nutcase stuff, right?
Ours was all just like overnight done.
And how are the rates there? How is how's the infection
we're
rate?
keeping it. I think we've managed to keep it below like this is cases per million, so below like 2 cases per million. But we're only a population of like 1.2 million.
Okay.
Our deaths have been luckily very, very low.
I'm sorry, that was an astounding piece of someone who doesn't know how to do mathematics.
So one person in Cyprus
one person in a million, but 1 person in a million, you've added 1 million. I mean, it's almost like the math's almost answered itself. It's like, hey, I've got 1 in 100, and I wonder what percent that is. Yeah. What do you think it is, mate? You had 1 in 100. What do you think the percentage was? I don't know. We'd have to work that out. Yeah, but you have 100 people, and there was one of them. Yeah, I see what you mean, man. I got to think about the maths. No, you don't. It's fucking right there in the answer in front of your fucking stupid face. Sorry, Jay. I'm like, that was a moment of like, that's that moment when you realize too many Teletubby tablets in the gay bars. Shouldn't have done that many drugs that destroyed my short-term memory, mate. It's like, oh, bless him.
I should have had it up earlier, but I forgot.
Yeah, the division is really hard. That kind of math really fucks with your head. That kind of math. The 1 in a million, and there's a million of us. How many cases? Do you know what's remarkable? 2 minutes later, he says, actually, there were 24 cases. You're like, what? So you actually got the percentage completely wrong as well. Anyway, you know. Hey.
So what's everyday life like there? Is just stuck at home and you have to text the government when you want to go out?
Yeah, pretty much. So basically, so we can't go to work, can't do anything, can't go out, can't socialize. The only thing you can do is go to the bank, go to the pharmacy, go to the doctor, go to the supermarket, doctor, hospital, and that is it. No congregating around people's houses, no socializing, no nothing whatsoever. And then if you want to go out to the supermarket or to walk the dog, then you have to text the government, ask for permission from the government, and take your text and your ID when you're outside.
But can you see? Do you know what this tells me? That kind
Yeah.
of like fake kind of empathy and the shake nod of the head. And you look at that and you think, it just hit me when I watched that. The only thing these people care about is liberal freedom, isn't it?
Yes.
They only care about, hey, I can't do what I want to do.
Oh no.
Yeah, I can't. Nothing about the nation, the state, the fact that the
Survival
people
of your people. No.
Yeah,
no,
that they've
no.
locked
I
on
just
the
want
island.
now
Nothing.
liberalism.
I want to be able to go out and get my Teletubby tabs and go down to the gay party, whatever I was going to go to, because Jay said he loved them.
Yeah.
And I did. Like, there's a fucking virus. I would be cooperating with authorities, going, good, let's not spread it. I mean, let's not. I barely left the house, right?
If COVID was more dangerous than it is now, they'd still have the same thing, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
If millions were dying, if already like 1 million people have died in Britain so far, right? And 20 million people have got it by now, they'd still be saying, "Oh, well, I can't go out. I've got to take my ID." When will it hit them that like?
But it doesn't. But this is the moral thing we were talking about. It's the irony is that their morality, they judge the way she judged Iran was bad because I can't be free. I'll be thrown off a building. China bad because they won't let me be free. These people, it's my freedom to do. Never my group, my country, my collective. Never my community. It's always more, look, they're bad because they're telling me what. It's anti-authoritarian. So basically just liberal corrosion and corruption, right? And in the case of a crisis, if it's like World War II, this is the time you'd be thinking the group before this. Any time you'd think we before me, it'd be something like COVID or World War II. And these are the times where the true colors come out, isn't it? It's just me, 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 me. So it shouldn't be for Britain, it should be for Anne-Marie. For Anne-Marie would be a much better name for the party. They'd be right on the money, and then everyone would be like, hey, if I want to vote for Anne-Marie, I should join the For Anne-Marie party. And then no one would give you any grief. We'd back away, we'd walk away, we'd be like, you guys do what you stop. If you want to vote for Anne-Marie, you should go and vote for the Anne-Marie party, yeah? But for Britain, are you kidding me, yeah?
You have to prove both. Why are you out, and also who are you?
Wow.
Wow.
That is some seriously strict stuff.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And oh, sorry, go on.
So it seems to be working a lot better, it seems. Like, for example, our total deaths are 12.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But then again, we're a country of like, what is it?
Still though, it's still very good.
These are the moments. These are the mathematical moments. So I'm just saying that. First,
Abbott maths.
This
Here we
is
come.
Abbott. The Abbott maths means Blackadder mathematics, all in one fucking big swoop. First, there were 1 million people, and there was 1.2 cases, 1.2%. The maths fails you. Now you're at the 24 cases, but then you forgot the top half of the divisor. You're like, actually, how many of them are us? You're like, dude, like, don't make any statements that involve numbers.
That must mean COVID in Cyprus is the most deadliest plague ever, because one person got it and 12 people died. Most deadliest plague in the world.
Yeah, I mean, and you would think that, and he's going to tell us why. Check the back chat, by the way, Matt. Fast.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So nuts, and so pure fucking Abbott mathematics. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I will do.
Cheers.
Just let us play this.
Straight away, I guess.
And we have had examples where like a massive group of like 30 people got it. The government came out and went, we've got 30 new cases today, and everyone was like, whoa, that's a lot. And then the government went, oh, it was one family, they had a barbecue, and one guy turned up who had corona, gave it to everyone else. And then it was like, oh, that explains why there's so many cases. So yeah.
Oh, that's very, very strict indeed. And so what are the supermarkets like?
So here in Cyprus, it's not like in the UK where you can just go to Asda or Tesco. It's more like, imagine like the late 80s, early 90s when we had like corporation supermarkets like Asda and Tesco sort of starting to become more normal. That's what it's like here. So you have all your, like, I live above a fruit and veg shop, which is busy all the time. And there's one on my street. The street over there has got one on, and the street over there has got one on. And you'll find fruit and veg everywhere. You'll find butchers everywhere. You find bakeries everywhere.
Nice.
So yeah, but it's a pain sometimes because like, you have to go to multiple places to do your shopping.
But that's true.
Oh, Oh, bad. Oh, gosh.
Oh,
Where's
first
my
world problems.
supermarket?
First world problems, oh my liberal problems. Oh, I need to go out and buy my supermarket. Oh, my shopping. Me.
I need to go to more than one place to get some.
Oh, me.
Oh.
Oh,
Please, I want to just consume. Please, just let me into the supermarket to consume all your crap. I just want it all under one roof, so I don't have. Because I'm
but
lazy.
you know what, mate? At the deepest level, if you look at this, she's in her 50s, late 40s, early 50s. Jay's in his 30s. This is generation 2, generation 3 of the tail end of that liberal experiment, where eventually you've got people who are atomized and deracinated.
Yes.
They're totally deracinated and so atomized that the entire worldview is about my individual experience, my individual sensation, my individual inconvenience store. Not my convenience store, my inconvenience store.
Yeah.
And that shapes their world political view. Meanwhile, 2,300 freshies, fresh new Englishmen, just like you, keep fucking arriving every day. Right? They just keep popping on the island. There's just no sign of them stopping. And these guys going like, I don't worry about them. It's just my inconvenience, my avocados. Yeah, and you're like, dude.
My avocados on toast.
Yeah, my avocados on toast is like so fucking inconvenient. It's just like so bad. It's like, oh, by the way, New China.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I'd assume the food is of good quality or better quality.
Yeah, the meat here is amazing, and things like avocados are like 40.
Are you joking?
And you know what? We always blame the migrants. You name like people of color, Muslims, whatever. You look at these people coming to the first world. You look at them. They come from of shithole countries. They look around. They go like, and this is the fucking opposition. This guy, he's worried about my avocados. You're going to give me your iPhone, fam. Fam, give me a fucking iPhone, cuz. He's like, but I'm sorry, but that's not liberal. It's got all my contacts in it. Give me it fucking now, fam. You're like, and you think we're going to defend England, but people go like, but my inconvenience store. And they tut, the supermarket. Oh, by the way, Nuke Liechtenstein. Fucking Jesus. And you wonder, look, Anne-Marie Waters for Britain, you understand why we are just crushing you. Do you understand why we're crushing you? You've got no answers. You are part of the symptom and the same problem. You've just got to go, right? Your entire worldview has to go. There's no time left for you lot, right? My avocados with my 3 flags.
Indeed.
Cents each.
Avocado's my thing.
Oh my god! It's a plague! What is it with the avocados? What is this? No!
No, because it's
I'm
so
triggered!
soft, and they feel so lovely against my soft, dulcet lips. Don't you feel them? Oh, Kush, what Teletubby dress are you going to wear tonight? They're like, these 17
what colour are you going to be? You're going to be purple or red?
And these 17 guys called Abdul and Leroy around the corner, they're looking at you going, well, these guys are fucking toast. Yeah, you can have your avocado and toast, but you're going to be toast when we come around calling, right? Because they ain't having no avocado, man. I'll tell you that. No avocado and toast. Fucking.
Big avocado pan.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, me too.
The supermarkets here are a nightmare. I mean, I'm going to plan my shopping for at 9 o'clock tonight because honestly, it's in the car park, zigzagging through the car park. I think to myself, who arrives here, sees this queue, and thinks, "Oh, all right then." Not in a million years am I joining that queue. Not. So
we've had nothing.
Oh, that British bulldog fighting spirit, the one that fucking defended against the Wehrmacht, the Luftwaffe, yeah. That resilient.
I'm not getting in that queue.
I'm not getting in that queue. Oh my god, I'm just going to circle the car park because, like, oh my god, I'm not going to get my avocados with like 12 people ahead of me. Meanwhile, a fucking football stadium full come right every month.
What if I get in that queue and there's no avocados left when I get to the checkout?
Oh my god. Crisis. Counseling.
Crisis.
In the meantime, Anne-Marie Waters, I know you don't like to speak about these topics, but 50,000 people arrived last month and they're not going to be queuing. They're not.
They're not
is
queuing for avocado.
They're not
queuing.
queuing at all. They're just going straight through the supermarket glass windows, right? They're not going to queue at all. Fucking avocados is not what they're after. They want the television set, right? So I mean, like, you know, you got to wake up here, guy. Wake up like now, right? Snap out of it, man. I said, man,
like mass panic buying or being abusive or anything like that here at all. We didn't like. Everyone in the UK is like buying all the toilet roll, and I'm like in the supermarket. We got it all. Like, I can take 4 rolls. That's all I need.
Oh my god, just like my toilet rolls. Oh my god. Oh, what could I do? I'm like, I just need 4. How about you? Do you want like 3? Meanwhile, these other 50,000 guys, they're like just preparing to circle the car park. They've got rubber tires burning, and they're coming straight at you. And they don't use toilet roll, mate. They're just coming right through, and there's no toilet roll in the imagery. They're just coming at you. But you're going to be like, oh, my toilet roll and my avocado. First world problems.
This is liberalism. First world liberalisms.
Even go home. And there's still plenty of toilet roll there. I was in the supermarket this morning. There was like all the toilet roll. But you just reminded me something about you saying that you're going to the supermarket at 9 o'clock tonight.
Yeah.
Do you know what I can't do as of 9 o'clock every night for the last week and a half?
What, take a shit, man? Consummation, dude.
Avocado.
You kind of avocado back. What? Go and tell us, Jay, mate. What can't you do at 9 o'clock?
This should be tantalising.
After 9 o'clock, I forgot.
Oh no, we can't go out after 9 o'clock. Oh no.
We'd go out tonight, but I haven't got a stitch to wear. What would you do? You can't go out tonight in the island. Oh shit. Oh shit.
No.
9 and 6 a.m. we have curfew. No one out. Get caught out, you're done. You're in trouble. That's it.
Blimey.
Yeah. Look at the shaking her head going, oh, perish you, the poor thing, you poor thing. The anti-authoritarian that they're telling you not to go out tonight because there's a fucking global world pandemic and you might die. But I just could go out tonight. And I had like the perfect outfit. It was like just perfect for me. It was just like so right. It was like just so sequined. I mean, and I couldn't go out. And she's like, oh, you poor thing. You poor thing. Meanwhile, those 50,000 fuckers, they ain't listening to curfew. They've mugged the policeman. They've taken the policeman's phone. They're taking the shit out of the policeman. They're making him gay dance. And they're looking for you.
They're twerking on him right now.
They're twerking on him right now. They're looking for you. You're like, what should I wear tonight? What should I wear? Oh, please tell me what I should wear.
Which Teletubby are you going as? The pink one or the red one?
Jesus Christ, man.
I live on the main road, so you like about 8:30, you'll see cars just buzzing up and down. Like it picks up. 8:30 is now like the new busy like traffic rush hour. That's
We're all trying to get home by 9.
Yeah, and then 9 o'clock kicks in, and then that's it. Gone. And then you see like a cop car every hour sort of driving about and whatnot.
So what do you think of this? Do you think it's an overreaction? Do you think the lockdown? I mean, do you think it's what's your?
No, I think because obviously it's one of these viruses that we just don't have a cure for. And last time, like with what was it, Ebola in Africa, that took us 5 years to crack a cure for it, and we didn't have that spread. That just stayed sort of in Africa. Pretty much within neighboring countries. I mean, it did spread a bit more. We had like 1 or 2 cases in America, but that was it. So but this one, it has got everywhere so fast. And really, I think that the whole bring the curve down, because everyone's going to get it, I think, and there is going to be loss of life from it. But I think it's better to try and spread it as much as we can with locking the place down at first, and then slowly let everything go back to normal. Because otherwise, we'll just have
what on earth was he? I mean, mate, I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, like, I do understand even foundational just epidemiology theory. You're just going to say, hey, look, it's not like the other African ones. So we should just like, what we should do is just kind of spread it out and then just like let it go and come back together again or something like. Well, are you like consulting for the CDC in Atlanta? Who the hell are you, man? I mean, like, are you crazy? Follow fucking instructions, Jay. When the guy says stay indoors, fucking follow authority. If he says get into your house, just do as you're told. Do not go around spreading anything. Don't dress up as Teletubbies. Just stay indoors, mate. We need you because for political reasons, you're really important to us, especially with those flags. You just stay alive, man. Stay alive. That's the theme song we play.
Yes, and everyone else just overburdened and then disaster.
Yeah, I do think that's the primary intention behind the lockdown. Actually, is to stop the NHS being overburdened. But it's so.
But my freedoms.
Hard to predict. Nobody could have seen this coming, except the Chinese government. It's so.
I mean, we kind of knew. We've always knew that a deadly virus is going to come out of China because of these wet markets and so on.
What? What logic is that? We always knew.
I mean, we always do what? We know we're going to have increasing multi-resistant drugs, but did you know? I can't remember any news articles the last 10 years going, hey, watch out the wet markets anytime now. I never saw any such fucking thing in my life. In my memes, I never thought about, I didn't wake up all day and think, what should I do about the Jews today or anything like that. And I didn't think about Chinese wet markets.
Your deduction is off there, Sherlock. Your deduction's off there, Sherlock.
Yeah, it's those tabs, man.
But I will admit, I think that we have been, we're too laxed on China.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck? We could have just shut the border. What the fuck are you on about?
What are you trying to fucking provoke a war with China? Good thing you have no power and you never have any. Why are you trying to pick on a nuclear-powered superpower? What is your problem? You're sitting in a little island hole all by yourself, and the other one is there kind of funding her life for British donations. And you're sitting there, you want to go to war with China. Are you insane? Huh? Have you ever seen what the Chinese army and special forces look like? And they're nuked to the hilt. And they don't attack anyone else. They're not attacking anybody. Take that, watch them. They're not going anywhere. Stop thinking of attacking China. Could you please stop attacking China? Leave them alone, mate. Come on.
We sort of didn't really, we were like, oh no, China will be fine. It won't be a problem. And it's like, really? And look where we are yet again.
What the fuck was that? What conspiratorial thinking led to that? If we leave them alone, look what happens. What? They're doing it on purpose?
But this is the funny thing is, right? This is this false, fake liberalism.
Yeah.
Where they're really not liberal. Do you know what they are? They're selfish. That's what they are. It's not liberalism versus illiberalism. It's selfishness. As long as every other country allows me to get an Airbnb and take my tablets and do what I want where I go, I want to be a free man. I want to be free. I want to be free to do what I want. I want to get loaded. Yeah, whatever you want to do, then that country's okay. If that country doesn't want to do what you do, you're like, that country's bad. We should get them. Because I can't have like a gay drug sex party in China. Because they would fucking kill you if you try that. If you went there trying to find a gay drug sex, but you would just get you'd be dealt with by an authoritarian culture that doesn't like such things. But you're like, they're bad. They won't let me take my tablets and wear my Teletubby outfit, right? Mad, these guys. This is liberalism. Can you see why we're in such problems, mate? Can you see why nationalism is not only do you have to fight against a border that's being eroded by your own government, then you've got to fight these far left people who want it to happen, and the middle ground, the Sargon fence sitters, they just fucking don't care, do they? They just wander around going, I can't get my avocado. They're completely nihilistic, right? They're completely lost any sense of anything other than the individual experiential. As long as I can experience my avocado and toast, I'm okay. So really, the nationalists are only about 25-30% of the population who can actually do something. And the other guys are just going to roll over, right? They're not going to do shit. These guys are not going to do anything for Britain, right? At all. Yeah, it's sad.
But this time, it's not like all the other times viruses come out of China, like bird flu or swine flu or SARS or whatever. This time, it is having a massive impact on us. Unprecedented.
I must admit, when I first heard about it, I sort of thought it would be another SARS. I didn't expect this. Didn't see this coming at all. And so it's hard to predict what's going to happen. How long we're going to be like this. We're in lockdown now for another few weeks at least. And then how do we get back? Are they going to let people start going back to work in stages? What's going to? I just have no idea what's going to happen. And it already feels strange to think of going out for a cup of coffee, doesn't it? You're already thinking, God, I remember when we used to go for cups of coffee.
Oh no, I need to go out and spend money.
I mean, I'm
please.
sorry, how cringe is this? You're meant to be a politician for the leader of a political party. You're trying to fight the nationalists, and your primary concern in a global crisis is like, I just remember the days I could have a cup of coffee. I just want to go out for a cup of coffee. You're like, are you Jesus? Are you so out of touch with society? Is that really what you think people care about? You think the top concern is that? It's crazy, isn't it, mate? It's just completely. And then they worry that the only thing they can say is Nazi because we're talking about things people are really fucking concerned about, right? They're not concerned about having a cup of coffee. They're concerned about there's no school places, no house places, immigration, collapse, competition for jobs, wages, all the things we know. They don't care about these things. That's not their mindset, is it? Their mindset is just me, right?
It's just, and I worry about how quickly we adapt to this stuff, but mainly I worry about the economy. That's the
my economy. Not the thousands of lives
biggie,
dead.
man. The biggie is the economy, right?
Big up the economy, yeah. Oh Jesus Christ! Sorry for taking the Lord's name in vain, there, Ralph. Funny, but
that's all right, my brother.
And whether or not, whatever the economic impact is, how many deaths will that cause?
You don't know.
You don't know.
It hasn't happened yet.
Be a politician. You don't know how many deaths are going to happen. You're not following the data. No politician without data should open their mouth. You should have learned that, right? Don't speak about something you don't know. Yeah, just who's going to vote for Britain? Who's left in for? Do we really want all the for Britain members, or do you want only the bright ones and split the pack, mate? Because anyone who's following her, listens to this, must really have their head screwed on wrong, right? I mean, they must just be pure libs. Because why don't they just be Conservative Party members or Lib Dem members? This sounds like a Lib Dem to me. Doesn't even sound like a Tory, right? It just sounds like a Liberal Democrat.
Yeah.
This is what I expect the Liberal Democrats to say. Isn't it? It sounds like pure
capitalism.
Pure more individual, more capitalism and more freedom, right? Not even conservative, not even Tory, right?
No,
nothing conservative here. No, nothing for just pure.
So that's a huge one. And depending on how long it goes on, I worry about how many freedoms we're going to get back, because the police have shown themselves, unsurprisingly, given how the police have behaved over the last 10, 20 years, but they've shown themselves more than willing, more than happy to go around the place behaving like little Hitlers, telling people to get out of their own front garden.
Did you just fucking invoke Godwin's law for no reason at all? Did you just for no reason call Her Majesty's Inspectorate of Constabulary Hitlers? Did you just call the fucking policemen who could be stabbed, shot thanks to the mayor? They could be stabbed, knife, shot. You call the policemen Hitlers and you expect to stand for office? What's wrong with you, women? I bet you wouldn't put on a fucking stab vest and kick down a door. Would you kick down a door, Anne-Marie Waters? Would you go in not knowing who's going to fucking attack you? This is just absurd, like Hitler. Hey, but is that part of the side effects of the IDF treatment?
Yes.
That's part of the
hallucinations.
Yeah.
Maybe induced. You may see moustaches where they do not exist.
Yeah, they take a Tourette's twitch. Every 20 seconds you go, Hitler. That's for no reason you're going to go, Hitler. Right? It's part of the side effects of IDF treatment.
Telling us they're going to check our shopping trolleys, spying on people if they're going, walking. They could be walking in the Peak District. There's nobody around for miles, and yet they're this is a problem. And they even put out tweets saying that they're hiding in the shadows. Mm-hmm. My word! I thought if only done that.
I'm sorry. I think one of the other side effects of the IDF drug treatment is that you see shadows in the Peak District, because the Peak District, as long as I remember it, fucking open and nowhere to hide. So I don't.
I think she's on about the police are saying that they're hiding in the shadows. I think she's on about the police.
District. Oh, okay, all right. Sorry.
Well, I mean,
shadows in the Peak District and people popping out of nowhere and stuff.
I mean, the police aren't not at fault here. They have said some ridiculous stuff. But still, like, you're just playing into that narrative. Like, just rise above it. Come on.
Girls are being raped all over the country by Muslim gangs, but where it's amazing how tough they are with us. Absolutely.
Who is us?
Who's us?
Whoa.
Who's the us? Eh?
That's Sparks there again. It's 20 minutes. That's Sparks there.
It's almost like the idea thing. It kind of like has like a slow release, and then suddenly, like, get the Muslims, or get China, get a nuke Iran, and then they go back to normal. Oh, I want me avocado, me toast, nuke Iran. Muslims. It's almost like this strange kind of pattern. It's almost like a programming, isn't it? It's really interesting. It's not. It's just, yeah.
Absolutely amazing. The ordinary law-abiding taxpayer, it's amazing how hard and how tough and how willing to crack down on us the police are. But illegal immigrants still coming in from France into the coast of Kent, and in they come. We're in lockdown, but in they come. You know, this is what.
And yet you are in for Britain refusing to put repatriation on the table.
Yeah.
On one hand, you say they keep coming, and then you think, once they're in, they're like just more freedoms, right?
Yeah.
Why isn't for Britain putting repatriation on the table?
Oh, they're just us. They're just us,
because most ordinary Brits see the kind of Calais camps, all of that. They see the people swimming in, and they think those guys, they got to be swum out again. Right, but for Britain, all these other civnat fucking loppers, right? They all just say no repatriation once they're in, they're British. Well, the solution is in the same sentence, Anne-Marie. They've got to be returned, right? But she won't do it, will she? She'll never do it.
Never.
This is what drives conspiracy theories, because when governments are this ridiculous and nothing they do makes sense, it is fertile ground for conspiracy theory.
And then you've got political
woman who just wants to fucking bring down Iran, thinks that people jumping out of the shadows to get her, they're falling around the Peak District, and she thinks the Chinese are, and you're telling me that about conspiracy theories, right? Okie dokies, Teletubby fans.
Theories. And while I don't trust the government, I don't trust their competence. I think they largely don't know what the bloody hell they're doing, but also they don't care. They don't care. All they want to do is get through the next election. All that matters is keeping seats. And the next generation, you know, can go to hell as far.
She actually cares about the next generation of what?
Yeah.
The next generation of liberal, so they can have avocado.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is, like, you know, this is the thing. It sounds very harsh for someone who spent a year in, you know, like just shifting the Overton window, right? It sounds very harsh, but the single thing that differentiates us from all of them is they won't touch repatriation. And repatriation is ultimately the winner if it takes another 3 to 5 years to get people in to see that those fuckers who got in, they got to go back. And most ordinary British people, even if they're left or right, working class, middle class, understand this principle. Too many people have already come in, right? This is so simple. It's just a question of going through the sales process, the mimetic process, the messaging process to say, no, no, no. And if you do that single differentiating line, all these clowns fall. The arguments fall, all of them fall, right? You know you don't want them in. You're claiming you don't want them in, but once they come in, you don't want to remove them. Because what, you're being called racist? Is that what it is? Fascist? Hitler? And that's the winning thing, because most Brits know that. Most Brits are already experiencing something where they look at the phenomena that's going on, right? People fighting, shouting, kicking. So they look at it, they go, these people are never going to have British values. They're never British, even with the more values argument. They must be returned, right? It's as simple as that, right? And these people are never going to do that. They're never going to deliver it, are they? Even if they were in power tomorrow, she would never deliver it, right?
No.
As far as they're concerned, and it's infuriating to me. So this is why we have conspiracy theories. This is why people just don't trust them, and I don't trust them either. When I'm stuck in my house, threatened, I went to a park, and I was threatened with, you need to go home because the police are asking us to report anyone who comes through here. And I thought, it was the first time I'd been angry actually throughout this. I thought, thanks. It's just already sort of started to pick on each other, and I'll grass you up, and I'll grass you up. And I think, this is. Oh, but yeah, I just hope we get all our freedoms back at the end of it.
That's all you care about, isn't it? And you can see this is the thing. And if you look at it, we've got the
values.
We've got the members of the Israeli foreign intelligence community, whatever they are, Aryan anti-Semitism, whatever these groups are looking there. And you see, this is your problem. You do not stand with the British people. You support and finance people like her. And all they care about is the freedom and those people coming in. All you care about is your enemy abroad, which is Islam. You do not care about the British people. You're not on the side of the British people. And liberalism, doesn't matter if it's Anne-Marie Waters, Peter Waters, John Waters, Teletubby Waters, makes no difference. The policy is not pro-native, is it? It's not for the British. It's not for Britain at all. It's for liberalism. It's for freedom. Her party should be called For Freedom. It should be called for libertarianism, right? It has nothing to do with conserving the British people. And when the Jewish people, I know A1 Anon's here to obviously collect intelligence for the Jewish people. God bless the Jewish people. We must secure the existence of Jewish people and a future for Jewish children in Israel, right? And the same way, if you don't support that for the 14 words, you are an enemy of the British people. There's no other way, A1 Anon. There's no other intelligence. Doesn't matter how much you guys laugh, Ronald and Steve, whatever you think you do, you will lose. If you will lose 109 times, 110 times, doesn't matter. You will lose if you don't stand by the British people. Yeah, and that's what you're doing. That's a simple thing. Hey, I'm not, as the song goes, I'm not white, I'm not Jewish, right? So you can't accuse me of picking a side here. Just telling you, it's just fucking wrong. Britain belongs to British people, and the Jewish groups support people like her. And by extension, you're anti-British. Just suck it up, love, or file a report or something, whatever you want to do. Yeah.
Lost every freedom we have. The same day that I was told to go home, that I would be, I'll tell the police on you. I've
seen a lot of it on the Facebook groups here. So obviously in Cyprus, I'm in Facebook groups of like British expats and whatnot, and you'll see someone going, "Oh, I've seen someone doing this. What's the number to ring and tell the authorities?" I'm just like, why?
Yeah, clearly, if someone is absolutely taking the mick, like for example, and here we go again, like for example, the mosques, which were reported in a Lancashire newspaper as being open and operating as usual, and when somebody reported this to the police came to him to warn him not to go out and look at the mosques, as he would be breaking social distancing.
Look at the hypocrisy. Look at the hypocrisy. On one hand, you want to go to a foreign country like China or Iran. You want to go to Iran and overthrow the government. Then you want to go to China and you want to change the entire political structure. But then when the Muslims over here doing Muslim things in Britain, you're like, I don't want that. So which is it? The right for the Muslims to come here and express their Muslimness? Because what you are now doing is you're violating Islamophobia. You're the textbook definition of the answer. You're being Islamophobic, Anne-Marie. You're being absolutely Islamophobic. But on the other hand, you say you have no problem going over to China and going to a Muslim country like Iran and overthrowing its entire political social structure. You want to go to Iran and get the Muslim people in Iran to overthrow their structure. But if Muslim people come in and say, I want to be all Muslim, you're like, fucking get them. Can you see how hypocritical you are? How inconsistent you are in your policies and morality? Which is it? Do you have the right to go and overthrow Muslims in Iran? In which case, they have the right to overthrow you here. Or you're saying, no, I can go overthrow them there and they can't overthrow me here. Which is it? You can't have it both ways, sweetheart. Yeah. It's just so vacuous.
Oh, it is. It literally is. It is literally wormhole brain.
It is.
But you don't have to, because it's happening.
Yeah.
And again, that drives yet more conspiracy theories.
You love your conspiracy theories. Wow, I never really.
Yeah. I never thought she was an Area 51 type, right? But for me, it's like all we need to do in the next year is to point out the continuous inconsistency, just the inconsistency of Tommy Robinson, the inconsistency of For Britain, the inconsistency of these groups, the inconsistency of the Jewish diaspora betting on both sides against the British. And ultimately, we will win by sheer inconsistency. They're inconsistent. We're consistent, right? We're just saying For Britain. That's it. For the British people. We're not breaking violation. We're not saying what we want, the 14 words for the British people we don't want for the Iranians. We're saying let the Iranians have their 14 words. We won't send an aircraft carrier or nuke Iran. And can we have the British people have their 14 words? And these people, all we have to do is shine the light on their inconsistency, isn't it? That's what I'm seeing here.
Oh, it's going to be glorious.
But yeah, the police are really showing themselves to be more than willing to clamp down hard on us, the law-abiding, while turning a blind eye to real criminal behaviour. And government doesn't do anything about that. Nothing. I mean, Priti Patel was on radio saying, yes, that's inappropriate. Inappropriate wasn't a strong enough word, if you ask me. But, do something. Do something. She should be, if I was Home Secretary in this
She wants authoritarianism when it comes to a foreign actor.
No, you
But
see what's interesting? Yeah, she wants authoritarianism applied to her enemies. She wants to apply authoritarianism to others, but if they do it to her, she goes, no.
Oh,
So really all she wants is not
a kitty
liberalism.
kitty. Yeah.
It is. It's selfishness, isn't it? It's not really even liberalism. It's liberalism. It's not even consistent liberalism. It's not like, say, someone like even Joseph from the Israel advocacy movement. He would at least practice or advocate for equivalence in liberalism. She's worse than that. She just wants her rights and fuck the other ones. Right? That's it, isn't it? It's like, fuck Iran, nuke Iran, get the Chinese, get the Muslims, get the Muslims. Every time I see a Muslim behind a rock, get him. But if the Muslims say, okay, I'll just do what's good for me, you're like, no, you can't do that because I don't want you to do that. And that's why the party policies are a joke, right? Because they're inconsistent at their core, right?
Mummy, nanny state, can you
Nanny
take?
state, can you help me here? Nanny state, get them, get the Muslim behind the rock, right?
Oh, nanny state, I'm just going out for a walk in the park. No. Well, my nanny state, why can't I go out?
Crybabies.
At this moment, I would be on the phone to all the police chiefs across this country saying, listen up, mate. You do not, your officers do not get to go around making the law up as they go along and causing more tension and more fracturing even more the relationship between public and police. But if there are really people taking the mick, then yes, of course, people must phone up and report them. But if you've got, it's coming down hard on the person who is out having a walk in the Peace District, for example, no one around for miles, come down hard on them, put out tweets saying, we'll be in the shadows, but leave the mosques alone and instead go to the guy who reported the mosques. I mean,
Well, you know why that is, Anne-Marie?
Mm-hmm. Why is that?
Why won't you touch on that subject? Why that happened specifically?
Yeah.
Maybe you should tell your followers why that is. I mean, you'd have to literally red pill them on race realism, but
No.
We've got to stop this because the relationship between public and police is being irreparably damaged here. Relationships between people who are, bickering at each other and I'm going to report you and I'm going to report you and it's causing real strain. I just want to tell you the Boots story. This is the day someone told me to go home out of a huge park near my house. There's nobody around. Same day I went to Boots. Went to the supermarket, but just there's no way. The queue was ridiculous. And actually, I was only looking for a couple of toiletry bits. So I went to Boots, and the guy on the door, there's a bouncer on the door of Boots, asked me what I intended to buy in the shop.
So you see, it's crazy, isn't it? The more you expose them, they don't care about anything, do they? It's like Nietzsche said, when he wrote Beyond Good and Evil, and thus spoke Zarathustra. He said, when you collapse Christianity in the West and you collapse morality, you get relative morals which must lead to nihilism. They're nihilistic, from the Latin of nihi, for nothingness. Yes. They care about nothing except my toiletry, my avocado and toast. There's nothing of the spirit left. And then they look at anything that denies their nihilism as authoritarianism. And they go, oh my God, bouncer in the Boots guy asking me what I want to do. I want to do nothing. I want to have the right to do my freedom to do nothing of value, nothing of meaning, nothing of the blood and soil, nothing of the spirit. Yeah, nothing, isn't it? It's just nihilistic, right?
It is, isn't it? I mean, how do you think the people during the Black Death coped with this? Do you think they went and frolicked in the park, or did you think they got shoved in their houses and they were boarded up?
No.
Like,
do you think that she's a product to allow her, her sexuality notwithstanding, she's a product of thousands of years of blood and soil and sweat and spirit that let that bookcase be built. The fact that you're not a man in a house built by a man is because generations upon generations of men and women died in this blood and soil for you to have this freedom. And your worth, your value you put on that in this land is, I can't get my avocado and toast. Oh, how shocking. I have to queue for the supermarket. Is that is that your heritage? Is that your legacy? Is that how you think of the British people and empire? I don't find that sad. I actually find it quite disgusting. I find it really, really just repugnant. You're betraying the spirit of the nation, right? The spirit of the nation. And you dare to call your party for Britain. I mean, that's even like the final insult, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's just, sick.
am I in a middle? Is this a nightmare? Is this real or
Liberalism is a nightmare. Yes, love
Yes, it is.
am I having a nightmare?
I've heard.
Just couldn't
So
believe.
here, all the places pretty much do, like not most places. Well, most places actually, they'll have someone sort of keep an eye on the door just to make sure that everyone puts hand sanitizer on or puts gloves on. But other than that, yeah.
Not here actually.
Everywhere you go in, there's someone on the side. Normally, there is one place at the bakery, which there's a big corporate bakery called Zorba.
Okay.
They actually have someone that will only let in a certain number of people at a time. So then that way, social distancing.
Yeah. The supermarket's doing that here. I think that's what's causing the queues to be out zigzagging around the car park.
Yeah.
But when you go in at night, you're told which direction to go, so you can't if you've forgotten something.
Oh no! Don't tell me which direction to go. Oh no! No, let's not have any kind of guidance. Let's just have anarchy.
Yeah, but they don't even see this. For me, the filth, right? So I'm obviously, is I'm obviously clearly a Nietzsche fan amongst everything. I think Nietzsche said nothing has been purchased more dearly than that little bit of reason and sense of freedom, which now makes our pride. This vanity, this emptiness of pride that you think is freedom is just a narcissistic, hollow sense of vanity. It's actually lots of blood and soil is spilled for this idea that ultimately is hollow. The freedom for my avocado toast, the freedom not to be asked by a bouncer, is so much was paid for this liberal experiment and such little is gained by it, right? What do they do with their freedom? This is what they do with their freedom, right? Isn't it? They knew nothing of value, right? They produced nothing of legacy, right? Nothing that will stand by, that will remember the life of the person who wanted to take some drugs, dress up as Teletubby, and be free to have avocado and toast. That's Western civilization. It's just vile, mate, vile.
So then you go back. I did this. I forgot something. Went back for it. And your woman said, no. It's a one-way system through the supermarket.
Oh my days.
Yeah. So you have horror stories. So do we.
Oh, I'm a rebel. Guess what? My supermarket has arrows. I just ignore them. Oh.
Other than that, the only thing I haven't seen it, but I've heard rumors that a mate of mine, he says that he went to the supermarket and he wanted to buy a frying pan, and apparently they wouldn't let him buy it.
Oh my God!
Oh no! Oh
what
God!
A fucking collapse!
How can I fry my avocado? Without a frying pan?
I mean, mate, it's almost like I don't even know what to say. I'm at a loss of words listening. Here you have an alleged leader of a political party chatting, and both of them are chatting like a bunch of fucking girls. Though one isn't and the other one isn't quite. So you've got to tell you, one isn't a girl, the other one isn't really a girl either. And they're sitting there chatting like little housewives during a global crisis. One's meant to be a leader for Britain going, I don't know, the policeman wouldn't let me get in, love. Oh, would he let you in, Marge? No, he wouldn't. What did you want, Marge? I just wanted me frying pan for me avocado.
I mean,
like, are you fucking for real, right? I mean,
give them a break, Ralph. They talk the first 10 minutes of their talk was about overthrowing governments. Come on.
Yeah, I forgot. They were
going to
bring down Iran.
Avocados.
Bringing down Iran and making China pay. I'm sorry. I forgot about that.
Give them 20 minutes to talk about avocado on toast and car parking. Yeah.
The Peak District.
Yeah, they're saying that you can only buy essential items, and his argument was, "But I'm buying bacon. I need something to cook my bacon with," and they're like, "Cook it in the oven," and he's like,
Jesus Christ, man.
So yeah.
Wow.
And
yes, wow. Just overnight, there we were, in the middle of a bad Hollywood horror film. Absolutely crazy. But what can you do but laugh at it, really, and look forward to it passing, hoping we can get some positives out of it. Of course we can, because there are positives in everything. And hope it'll teach us a little bit of a lesson about the little things in life. I never thought I'd be grateful to be able to go to the supermarket. I can't wait to be able to go to the supermarket at whatever time I like again. That's going to be a real joy when I get that back.
Yeah. Oh man,
oh, do you?
She just aims to hide shames at just that, forget Churchill, we'll fight them on the beaches, forget aiming high in civilization, forget reaching for the stars, yeah? So as a leader of a party, but you just can't wait to go shopping again, yeah? At whatever time you like, yeah, wow. You just inspired me to write a fucking poem. That's how much I felt inspired. An ode to Anne-Marie shopping. Yeah.
I think I'll write a song. It'll go like this: Teletubbies,
Teletubby. Some of those Teletubby moves are quite horny, mate. Look at that. They're a bit raunchy, yeah? some of those Teletubby moves were just a bit like fucking way out there, man.
No.
Don't go there.
Don't get me wrong. There can be months at a time when I don't go to the pub, but just
Oh,
not
God,
having
here
the
we go.
option to go to the pub is, yeah.
Yeah. Pub is not somewhere I go much anymore either. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to go. I'd like to go out for a meal, for example. I like to go for a meal as often as I can. Really, I can't afford very often when I, it's nice. And now I can't do that. And yeah, everything's on hold.
Yeah,
everything, and it's the strangest thing. But hey, what can we do?
Exactly.
So I get to it.
So something else. Let's go back to talking about videos you've made. And you made a video recently. I watched it. I was like,
it's a good bit.
Nothing wrong with this. This is just fully sensible and logical. And then I've seen a few people who I'm subscribed to just throwing their toys out the pram. Not very happy, not very impressed. But it's a video about Patriot Alternative. I thought it was very good.
God bless Patriotic.
Yes.
Hey, God bless PA. Come on, PA. Come on, PA. Sorry.
Review. Literally 100% on that. And I just couldn't believe the reaction that you've got for it. But being on here right now, talking about this, I can already see that they're like, she was with that lefty war cattle, see? And they all think I'm like some MI5 spy and whatnot, and like I'm a handler or something. So I'm just looking forward to them all losing their mind over this conversation.
They prove you right with every hysterical response. I mean, the comments under, they were complaining that we turned them off. To be honest, the worry was because there was so much crazed Jew hatred coming in.
Here comes the IDF treatment kicks in straight away. Straight away. It's like the first thing is like, go to IDF treatment, sit up erect. Hang on a second. IDF has kicked in, right? ODF, right. Okay, come on then, Anne-Marie. Tell us about it.
Worried about having the account taken down. It was just insane. And in the end, I thought, look, let them show how right.
So if you were worried about the account being taken down,
I know. Did she? You know what, mate? I haven't heard this bit actually. I've only heard the first. I fell asleep to this because I've got the fucking conclave. I didn't hear this bit. Her first worry was her account, her YouTube account we got. So the idea of treatment is quite strong, but not as strong as maintaining a YouTube subscriber base. Very interesting. Note to IDF. IDF command controllers, are you watching? She's either not being paid enough or the dosage is not enough for the pills.
Double the dosage.
The dosage is not enough. She's picking YouTube over the motherland.
We are. Every other comment was about the Jews, and people. I don't get this. I don't. Someone has responded to me saying, "You think the Muslims are plotting against us, but not the Jews." I don't think Muslims are plotting against us at all. And
you don't stop talking about the Muslims day in, day out. Muslim this, Muslim that, Abdul this, Muslim that, Quran this, Quran that, Muslim. But I don't hear you going, 250,000 Jewish people, 24 MPs, oversubscribed 1,000%, 3.4 million Muslim people, 12 or 13 MPs, 40% undersubscribed. Why are you shouting at the political power of the Muslims when the Jews are overrepresented by 1,000%? Why are you quiet about that? So I counted every time you use the word Muslim, Anne-Marie Waters, in a negative way and a positive way. I'll find 90% of your comments on Muslims are negative, almost non-positive, and 99% of your comments about Jews are positive and not negative. So I did a positive, negative sentiment analyzer on your text. Guess what I see? It's as simple as that. And then you go, why are they talking about the Jews, the Jews, the Jews? We're like, no, why aren't you talking about them? Yeah, why? Don't ask us. We're asking you why you're not talking about them. You're only talking about the Muslims. If you spoke about both the Muslims and the Jews, we'd be like, oh, you're a balanced individual.
Why aren't you talking about the Runnymede Trust? Why are you not talking about the British Board of Deputies who openly want open borders into the United Kingdom.
But simple metric, just a simple metric. Forget all the conspiracies, British Board of Jurists, forget all of this.
I mean, it's not really a conspiracy when they say it themselves.
I'm going to pretend that it all doesn't exist. I'm just going to look at the absolute data of 240,000 Jewish people, 24 MPs, 3.4 million Muslims, 12 MPs. Now, if I then took the next piece of data that says I added up all your sentences of the last 2 years and I gave them against the Muslim score, a plus or negative, against the Jewish score, plus or negative, what do I see? 99% of your comments about Muslims are negative, though they have 40% underrepresentation in power. And for the Jews, it's 90.9% positive, 0 negative, and they're 1,000% oversubscribed in power. Now, given those two pieces of data, do you think we're the crazy ones asking you why you're not talking about it? We're not the ones going, watch it. We're like, look here. And you're saying, don't look there. We're saying, look, we just want to look here. It's not like we're not looking at the Muslims. We're looking at both Muslims, Jews, and any out-group that are problematic for the British people. You're the one only looking at one group and refusing to look at the other. Then you turn around and going, look, they're making me want to look. They're making me want to notice. You're like, dude, I mean, like, to defend that position, I want you to defend that precise position. I don't see how you can defend it other than you've got some really nice IDF treatment.
I think that the Islamic faith is a political monster which has conquered parts of Europe before. And
you don't think that about the Jewish faith? Why not? Why is
1,000 times or 9.8 times overrepresented in Parliament? I mean, I did.
I mean, Zionism is the political arm of the Jewish faith. Like,
it's in its nature to be politically and to seek political dominance. I think it's extremely powerful all over the world. It's completely different from this tiny little group which Jews are with one tiny little country, and the idea that they're controlling everything is so bizarre.
No, but doesn't she understand it? I mean, to all 4 Britain fans, we will cut this stuff out, we'll splice the content, we'll put it on Twitter, we'll spread it out. I listen to yourself. You're saying there's this tiny little country with a tiny population. Yes, the number is 240,000 or so. And they have 24 members of parliament of 650. You're saying, no, they don't have any control, any power. It's just a small amount of Jews. How come they have 24 MPs? Let me look at the other most powerful diaspora, the Indians, 1.4 million, and only 11 or 12, whatever MPs they have, 1.1 times just on parity power. So if I look to the Indians, they're on parity per capita political power. The Muslims are 40% underrepresented, and the Jews are 1,000% overrepresented. What part of that fucking maths is hard to understand? We're not saying just the Jews, get the Jews, go get the Jews. We're saying, look at these outgroups. That one looks really bad. That one looks like this. You're the one saying, don't look at them. If you look at them, you're Nazi.
They're all outgroups vying for their own interests. We want to put a stop to that. What is wrong with that?
If they are controlling everything, they're doing a really bad job of it because we live in a highly anti-Semitic world.
What about a highly Islamophobic world? Yeah, what about that? Because Hansard's now rolling through its definition of Islamophobia, and we're going to hold you to account. Until you speak about Israel and anti-Semitism, we're going to hold you to account for Islamophobia. I am, personally. And my little helpers are going to help me do just that. Because you can't just go ahead on one hand saying anti-Semitism bad, anti-Semitism, IRHA definition of anti-Semitism. Well, okay, we'll run with that. What about Islamophobia? Are you also going to hold yourself to, because if you say no to one or the other, you're just a foreign and fucking combatant. You're a fifth column. You're an enemy of the British people. That's what you are, right? You're actually siding with an out-group, not all out-groups, against the in-group. That's all you're doing, right? It's simple as that. If you tried that shit in India or China, you wouldn't see the next morning. Forget any political power.
You tried that outside anywhere of the liberal West.
Yeah, you just wouldn't. You would just, nothing would happen. You just wouldn't. There would be no more conversation to be had. Yet here you are advocating for it.
No, she says the whole world is an anti-Semitic world.
Yeah.
Whose fault is that? Or have I gone too far?
I don't know.
Why is this why is the world anti-Semitic?
I don't know if the representations of the intelligence agencies are still here, A1 Anon, but I have a question for A1 Anon, or whatever, because I'm not sure they have mindless data. if the Jews are quarter million, and remember, I'm not English, I'm not white, I'm not Jewish, A1 Anon. So you can't come at me with some Nazi shit or Jewish shit, because I'm neither. I'm consider me an independent observer, though I prefer to think of myself as the hired help and a servant of the realm. But would you
He's the intern.
would you support 250,000 Pakistani rural Muslims in Israel? The same number, 250,000. Would you support them running around Israel, constantly advocating for pro-Pakistani and silencing every Jewish person that speaks for Jewish interests? Would you support 250,000 Pakistani Muslims who make sure that no Jewish person stands up for Jewish self-interest in Israel? Because that's exactly what you're doing in England. 250,000 Jews advocating against the English people for the English self-interest, calling it anti-Semitism. Would you support 250,000 very orthodox, conservative Pakistani Muslims in Israel, making sure if any Jewish person anywhere said anything pro-Jewish in Israel, you'd shut them down by calling them Islamophobia. You'd institute draconian Islamophobic laws in Israel, and anything said against anything to do with Islam, Muslims, or Pakistanis would be met with draconian force by the minority. Would you support this? Would you support this, A1 Anon? Because if you say no, then you have to say that that's the same thing happening in Britain. Remember, I'm not Jewish, I'm not English, I'm not white. So any label you throw at my English brothers and sisters in arms doesn't really fucking work on me, right? So this is the problem here. And this stooge, this alphabet anti-stooge of yours is doing exactly that. And we're going to call it out on it until everyone in England sees it. Yeah, I'm not going to stop it. Unless you shoot me in the head.
If they're in control, then they're really, really bad at it, is what I would say. They control the media, which is very, very strange for me, because the media is uniformly anti-Israel. So it strikes me as really, really odd that they think Jews are running the world.
That's a mess. No, it's not anti-Israel.
I don't know what to even say about that, mate. I mean, President Trump is married into an, Jewish family, but what are you talking about? Do you really believe this shit you say, Anne-Marie, or do you believe that we're not going to call you on it all the way from here to 2025? And that's where we're going to Parliament, 2025, with or without you. We're going to call you out all the time, so every ordinary English British people can see the hypocrisy of your position. You will stop talking about Islam, Anne-Marie Waters, or you will start talking about the Jewish people and the Somalis and the Indians and the Pakistanis. If you go against only one outgroup and not the others, we're going to call you on it.
Yes.
And if you defend just one outgroup and don't defend the others, I don't see you sticking up for the Muslims, I don't see you sticking up for the Somalis, we're going to fucking call you on it. Right? That's what's going to happen.
They blame them for the immigration into the West. Absolutely ridiculous. The immigration into the West is the fault of Europeans themselves, whether they want to admit that or not.
True. That is in part true, yes. But there are, again, countless examples. Runnymede Trust, British Board of Deputies, They do push for open borders. And they have a lot of sway in the media.
And to me, to be honest, Matt Francis, for me, it's also, I understand those argumentation lines, but I still think they're secondary. I still look at I don't care who is responsible for why it's happened. If I blame liberalism and I bring the progressive,
liberalism as well. Yeah.
But I still don't care. I still care about the current state of the board and the future state for the English people. And whatever the reasons and the proximal cause or the distal cause factors that got us here, they're just still causal factors. What I care every day when I wake up is today, right now, which side are you on? Are you in the in-group, the English left wing? No, but if you're in the in-group fighting against your own in-group, think the left, think Owen Jones, think Lister, then you're still a traitor to the nation. And if you're in the out-group fighting for against the in-group, you're still a traitor. In that case, you're an enemy combatant. So no, I'm not going to say, it's just white people's fault. There's white left traitors, and they'll be dealt with themselves. But the question is, simple question, are you standing for native self-determination rights or aren't you? If you're not, you're fucking an enemy of any color, right? Yeah. That's it.
It is. So they prove you're right with all this hysterical response. And I for a long, long time, Jay, and you know this, for a long, long time, I've been so frustrated at these comparisons with neo-Nazis. And it's been this massive sort of chain around my neck and around the party's neck. And I think finally, because I keep saying I'm not I'm not your ally. You know, when I had an argument with Peter Sweden,
Oh God.
well, I didn't have an argument. I called him a nasty piece of work on.
Who remembers Peter Sweden? Put a 1 in the chat.
I like Peter Sweden, man. He's fucking based as fuck. I like Sweden law. My best mate is Swedish. Fucking hail Sweden. Peter Sweden is fucking fighting the good fight, man. He's like, what's happening to my country? So I love Peter Sweden. What's wrong with him?
Oh, Ralph. Oh, you sweet summer child. He's taking the IDF treatment as well, mate.
Oh, has he? I had no idea.
Yes, he's taking the IDF treatment as well.
I never knew he was. I thought he was based.
Well, he was, and then he took the IDF treatment.
I haven't listened to him for years. Like 4
yeah.
5 years now. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, they're fucking then, man. Shoot him in the head. Fucking hell, mate. I had no idea. In Minecraft, surely, of course. But yeah, I had no idea. So has he fallen to pressure?
It seems so, yeah.
But he was based as fuck about. I'm talking about 3 years ago. I thought then he went hiding in Norway, didn't he? Last time I heard he went to Norway, and that's when I stopped listening to him. Oh wow!
And then
they got him. They got him.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Twitter, and that's exactly what I think he is. And this led to the same thing. And he made videos saying, you don't punch right, and you don't pick on your allies. I'm not your ally. I have never been your ally. He used to say the most bizarre things about Jews and about gays, and I thought, I've never been your ally. So please, stop this. And it's been a source of much frustration for me to be sort of paired with people like that. And I think finally, this video has finally driven that message home, that for Britain is not this. We are not neo-Nazis. And I'm sorry, but unless...
Are you all right, Ralph?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're just rumbling. All right.
He has had a huge change of heart. Mark Collette is.
Oh,
God.
Come on, let's be clear. She's only using the word hysterical because I ripped into her with the first response video because she was hysterical and hundreds of people voted that she was hysterical. Now she's trying to use the word hysterical. She's trying to own the word, but it's too late. She exhibited hysteria, right? Simple as that, yeah.
And people talk about smearing. I saw someone else say she's smearing Mark Collette in the way that she was smeared. She was smeared by Nigel Farage. Nigel Farage himself had been smeared. Nigel Farage was smeared because he's never self-described himself as a Nazi sympathizer. So to call him a Nazi sympathizer is a smear. To call me a Nazi sympathizer is a smear because I've never expressed any sympathy. To call Mark Collette a Nazi sympathizer is not a smear because he has expressed in clear words.
So in that case, can I call you an Islamophobe and a Zionist?
Yes.
Can I call you a Zionist and an Islamophobe? Would that not be a smear? Are you an Islamophobe and a Zionist? That's what you are.
Sympathy with the Nazis. So that's the difference. And I'm glad, finally, it is sinking in to people and even resisting. Would you believe it? Even this resisting hate people. Yeah. Even they have acknowledged, and I'm not in the business of trying to impress resisting hate. Believe me, these people are loons.
No, but you're in the business of going to Hope Not Hate and telling them how you're not a Nazi party, though, aren't you?
No, but there's another important point that she's missing. I don't know if she's missing, and it's as simple as this: we are accelerating the Overton window right. So what was happening 2-3 years ago to Farage, Jared Batten, and you seems like, there's relief. There's someone on the right. I'm not this person on the right. No, that's because the Overton window is shifting underneath your feet, and you're being redefined by us. That's what's actually happening, sweetheart. Right? And suddenly you're looking more and more left wing, not because you change your position, because society is catching up with us. And the more the Overton window goes right, and you stay still, the further and further left wing you look, isn't it? Her video was like, I'm against racism, I'm against sexism, I'm for pro-LGBT rights, I'm for gay rights, only thing I'm against is Islam, and the only thing I'm for is Israel. You sound like a liberal left-wing person, and you haven't changed your positions at all. We have moved, and we're about to accelerate the Overton window right, and every time we do that, you're going to keep looking left. And Mark is going to look more and more central. That's the name of the game. Keep up.
Yeah.
But even they are starting to acknowledge the clear water between us, between our way of thinking and the actual far right. And this is crucial for us as a party. And what I think,
and it's crucial for us as well, because now you are on their side. If you differentiate, if you want to split the boundary, if you want to put up a boundary, between us,
Yeah, but
you're going to be on the left.
thing is, two things are going to happen. It's not a linear shift as well.
I know.
Because the Overton window is not a linear line. They and the Civnites are going to get pushed closer and closer to be indistinguishable from the Conservative Party. What are your differences between the Conservative Party shrinking and shrinking as the Overton window slides right towards us? We are going to look increasingly centralized in the right. We are actually going to be the right, not the far right. And you're going to be liberal conservatives, which is what you are. You're liberals. You're conservative liberals. You're fiscally conservative and socially liberal. You want racism, fight sexism, fight. You sound like the SJW to us. We are going to look what you used to call ultra-extreme far right, are going to just look right-wing and conservative. By 5 years, what you think Mark Collette was far right, he's going to be center-right. You are going to look like a liberal, because that's what you are, right?
I think Patriotic Alternative have done, which is fantastic for us, is place that clear water between us and the actual hard right. If we want to go into the mainstream, if we want to present a real challenge to Labour in the years going forward.
Now this I found very interesting. Why did she say Labour? Why didn't she say the Conservatives?
Yeah, because there's no differentiation. Because there's very little to differentiate them. If you look at her, she looks increasingly like the central part of the ERG. So she looks like she could be a Rees-Mogg kind of MP moving closer towards Gove. Not because she's doing anything. She's staying still. The Conservatives done a little sidestep right to make sure they got the election, and they're going to hold their steady ground. And as the Overton window, which is the world or the views of society, move towards ours, we are going to be the right. Not the far right, not the extreme right, just the right. And you're going to be in the middle. And when you think that's good for you, it's 10 times better for us, because that's the real choice. Another cheap version of the Tories, but a real right.
I think she's not as stupid as as like we like to think she is. I think she understands that in the future it's not going to be about the Conservatives have got a limited window unless they can somehow, change the the Islamic vote in the country. So it's going to be Labour that they're going to need to bring about. I mean, Labour's shot themselves in the foot for the next 10 years, maybe. But eventually, when the numbers do change, it's going to be a voting bloc of these ethnic groups. So I think that's what she's saying.
Well, here's the problem, the trap they fall into. The Conservatives are pandering to the Muslim vote. You see that in Windsor and Eton and Slough. You can see the candidate challenging or halving Boris Johnson's lead. But because she's anti-Islamic, she'll never win a seat there.
Yeah.
Right? Against the Conservatives, forget the Labour Party. The Labour Party wouldn't touch her the left, right? Because they consider racist, right? So she's going to try to become centrist. We, on the other hand, to normal, ordinary, white, working class and white British people, are the only choice that is anti any outgroup. I don't care. We're not particularly anti-Jewish, anti-Muslim, anti-black, nothing. We're pro-British. And they're not pro-British. All we have to do is hold our ground, use what we did for alt-right 1. It took 3 years for alt-right 1 to peak to allow Trump to happen. It's going to take 3 to 4 years, well before 2023, 24, when we have pushed that Overton window so far right that we're the only viable choice to people who are pro-British, mate. Yeah? That's it. Dead.
Forward, and that is our ambition. We cannot do that if we are a far right party, and so what Patriotic Alternative are doing are giving us a very distinct far right to separate ourselves from, to distinguish ourselves from, and with the hope that we can go into the mainstream on that, because mainstream won't go. We saw what they did to Jeremy Corbyn. What the British electorate did to Jeremy Corbyn was say, absolutely no way, because he's just too extreme. His politics are too.
I think you said it perfectly well in the live stream, because you did a live stream sort of reaction to all the comments of that video. Yeah. I think it was in that you said, like, it's extremely patriotic of British people to be anti-Nazi and to be, anti-neo-Nazi. So to promote those ideals in a British patriot way isn't gonna, I can't remember what you said exactly, but you're pointing that out, that goes completely against British culture to be pro-Nazi in Britain.
Absolutely.
And anti-Semitic.
Yeah, and it means
I like the way you I like the way you shoved that in there, Jay. The old anti-Semitic at the very end there.
Can we
gotta
refer
get
you
that
to
in.
the other mad reaction where we just said, hey, yeah, my friends don't call me up every day, all the English people going, hey, what do you worry about the Jews? The Jews. All the English people do not think about the Jews all day. They never call me up going, hey, I need to meet up for coffee. Let's chat. What about the Jews? No one does that. Only the Jews and the pro-Zionist lobby does. The majority of British people worry about immigration, foreigners, countries, their jobs, their health. And they care about.
I think that little jab at the end there was Jay's talking points from his little clique. I think that was him inserting his politique into this conversation there.
Hey, if you're gonna fly the flag, you might as well flap your lips. Yeah, he's got the flag behind him. Might as well flap the lips.
Indeed.
Immediately, they don't. You know, this is another thing. They don't seem to realize how much the world has changed. And that you have to live in the world as it is, and you have to politically live in the world as it is. And in a democracy, you have to bring as many people with you as you possibly can. That's the trick.
But can you?
Yeah, but when you say as many people, we're going to be targeting only the native British people who are the absolute majority. We don't care about bringing along all the people with your anti-Islamic, pro-Jewish, pro-one out group against another. We don't care about any of them. We won't target any of them. We don't care whatsoever what they think. We care about ordinary English, Scottish, Irish, and Welsh people. Go, these other people are not like us. They seem to be winning. And we're going to give them the only option where they get a chance to win. And you are not going to give them that option. And you can't, whatever you call us this, that, Nazi, it means nothing. We are the alt-right too. We would destroy you mimetically. You couldn't touch us for fucking alt-right one. You won't be able to. We're much stronger, better, quicker this time around. You can't stop us. We'll just stay on message. And ordinary English people are going to be, hey, these guys, they don't look like Nazis. They look like ordinary people. They're just normal people going like, hang on, that guy there, he's not English.
Why is that guy wearing a suit? That's not a neo-Nazi. Neo-Nazis are skinheads with, that's not right. That doesn't
Harry doesn't come across as a goose stepper, does he? No.
So all this bluster about like, they're Nazis, they're neo-Nazis. As soon as it gets into the public eye and they see our optics, it's gonna fall away like fucking water off a duck's arse.
Remember, people don't realize, right? The moment that sent the entire world media into meltdown was not Hailgate. It was the moment when Hillary Clinton gave a speech and that solitary voice went Pepe. And that voice went Pepe during Hillary's speech. And the Atlantic, the New York Times, the BBC went to meltdown. And they're like, who are these frogs? But we'd already made Trump win. Right? We'd already spent 3-4 years. We'd killed the feminists. We'd killed the racists. We'd killed all of them with the counter-skeptical movement. We're going to do the same thing again this time. And this time, what you call far right, it's just going to be ordinary people. Age 13 will be 18 in 2025, and those who are 18 now will be 26, 25 years old, 23 years old, and they're going to dominate the cultural space. They'll produce the messages, and they're just going to say, hey, it's okay to be white and English, and you're not. Doesn't matter if you're Indian, black, Jewish, it doesn't matter. You're not English. Are you on the side of English? No. That's our winning ticket. Simple as that, mate. Yeah, and they can't do anything. She's going to look more like the Conservatives and the Lib Dems and the British Freedom Movement and the Movement for British Freedom and the Movement of British Freedom Fighters and the Free of British Movement. All of these fucking civ night groups, they will all just collapse near the Conservative Party, right?
Indeed.
That's all they'll be, yeah.
Irrelevancy by one simple word. 2066.
2066, mateys.
And so you try to upset as few people as you possibly can while maintaining your principles and your foundational principles. So it's, to propose to people, to describe gay people as degenerates. First of all, you're going to lose...
Not for YouTube.
Millions immediately, because you're going to lose everyone who is gay. You're going to lose everyone who has a gay friend, everyone who has a gay family member. They're just not going to listen. They may, however, be against mass open border immigration.
Are you kidding? I'm sorry, I'm going to comment to this, but are you insane? Have you even checked the state of the internet? Have you any idea how many memes we have? And you're telling us you're hoping they don't listen to us. We know they're listening to us. That's the difference. You're hoping millions of people go like, I don't like that. It's homophobic. We're going to say, no, we don't hate gays, but we prefer heterosexual normative societies.
Yes.
And we don't want to see lots of drag queens spreading their legs in libraries to little children of 5. And that's it. We'll win on just that. We don't have to be homophobic. We can just be pro-heterosexual normative. We don't have to be anti-homosexual. We can just be pro-heterosexual.
That's classed as probably saying that, Ralph, is probably classed as homophobia these days.
Oh dear, of course, I'll be careful.
They'd be too homophobic now.
Have had them if you hadn't, realized that it's 2020 and most people don't think gays are degenerates now. You can come out if you come out with a policy of black people should go home, you're going to lose millions of people immediately.
What policy of black people go home?
You see, this is the idiocy. Black and brown people are not spread equally across the board. They're spread in tight ethnocentric clusters. They're not the seats we care about. We don't need to win a single seat with a majority in that minority at all. We just have to win white seats. We don't give a shit about where I live in Stepney. We're never going to win Stepney, not until we've actually won Parliament. So we don't have to talk. You're saying, well, the people in Stepney, all the Muslims and the gays and the browns, the blacks, and we're like, yeah, they're not our base. We're not targeting them. You're saying they're never going to agree with you. Like, we don't care. We don't need them to agree. We don't want them to agree. We don't need them to agree, and we're not going to message them. We don't give a shit if they agree with us. But the majority of the people here are still white, 2066, and they understand what we mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, simple as that, love. You're fucked.
Those millions may well be against mass immigration. They may well be against Islamization, but they're disgusted at the concept that you're going to ask black people to go home. And so far, you've lost them. They were potential supporters and you've lost them.
So who's she talking about? She's not talking about the working class. She's talking about the liberal elite.
She's actually, listen to the amazing thing. She's actually, this is why she's liberal left wing. She's talking on the voice for the black people, for the brown people, for the non-white people, for the gay people. Every time she opens her mouth, she's for everyone who's not the native British people. Yeah. So she just needs to keep doing that. And we just need to keep pointing out how she's for the blacks, for the browns. And listen, Anne-Marie Waters, we won't toggle a single seat where these minority people vote. We don't want their votes. We're not going to ask for their votes. We're not going to compete for their votes. You go compete for their votes with Labour and Conservatives.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to go to places,
have a field day.
places that are at least 85-90% minimum white, which is hundreds of the squares on the board. We're only going there. We're not going to go to Stepney, Peckham, none of these places. You go there. You go to Hackney. You fight David Lammy, Dan Abbott. You go for it. We're not even going to stand anyone there. We don't care about that. That's not our voter base. Our voter base is going to be ones that are predominantly white. And that's as simple as that, right? It's as easy as that. Yeah? So she says, this argument I hear a lot. But if you say this, black people won't vote for you, like, yeah, so what? I don't care. I just don't care, mate. What about the Indians and Muslims? They won't vote for you, like, yeah. So let them not vote. Do you think they're all spread equally across the country? Have you looked at the data? They're not. They're in a fixed number of seats under 100 squares. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
So you've lost all black people, you've lost all Asian people, and you've lost everyone who was friends with. This is politically suicidal, and it's politically.
Then why are you so desperate? Why are you fucking bricking it? If you keep telling us, why do you keep telling us? Yeah, can you imagine this? She keeps saying, no, you're going to lose. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, well, why are you worried? If you think it's a fucking, Richard Inman.
If you're the competition, why are you worried about us fucking up then?
You think, why are you desperately non-stop? Look at these guys. They won't win the black vote. We're like, we're not standing for the black vote. But you won't win the Muslims. You're like, all right, we don't care. Not going for them. You're like, but this is electoral suicide. You're like, isn't that your fucking point? Don't you want us to lose? Yeah, we're saying we're going to go to Devon, Somerset. We're going to go to every white area around the Muslim towns that are 90% white. We're not going anywhere near those towns. We're not going to appeal to them. We're not going to slag them off. We're going to do nothing. We're just going to point out to the other ordinary British people, look at this shit. It's coming your way. That's all we need to do, man. You're fucked, Anne-Marie Waters.
Absolutely. Uh-oh.
Boom. 14.
And I think if you're going to run a political party, you have to have a little bit more political savvy about you than that. You don't frighten people away with unworkable policies. I don't know how you.
I'm sorry, unworkable. Are you fucking with me? You stood in Lewisham and you got 225 votes. And with 80,000 people who stood, you got 225 votes. You're going to give us electoral advice? Thank you. You're going to tell the messaging experts in the world we are the fucking alt-right. You're going to tell us how to signal messaging? Are you smoking
guys who memed someone into office?
The people who memed Brexit in. You're going to tell us how to shift it by your messaging strategy when your results were 200 something votes. Don't you worry about us, sweetheart. You keep screaming, look at them, they're evil. We like that. You keep giving us attention. Call us far right, call us Nazis. We don't care. We can counter that shit. Every time you call us Nazi, we're going to send you frogs all dressed up in Nazi uniforms. Yeah? And you think, look, they're Nazis. And you're like, yeah. Well, just here's another frog. Here's a frog who's got a gay Nazi frog. Does that satisfy your requirement for far right? This guy's a really cute gay Nazi frog with a lion cross. Right? He's a frog, so most people are going to be like, hey, he's not really a Nazi. He's not even a human. Looks like a frog. You're like, yeah, 14 for the frogs, yeah? And you are so fucked because we're not targeting you. We're not care. You go fight them out. And thanks for the advice anyway. Yeah?
Where are they going to go? What about mixed race people? What about the country you're sending them to? Are they going to be okay with accepting? You can't do it. It's totally unworkable.
She just admitted the rest of the world isn't a liberal place.
Yeah, and look at this. Dude, she's so fucking. You don't get it, right, dude? We're not going to go tell black people they vote for us because we want to send you home. We're going to go tell white people who don't want to live with black people that we want to send the black people home. You see the difference? Big difference. You're saying, but the black people won't agree with you. Like, yeah, of course they won't. Yeah, we're not talking to them, mate. We're not going, hey, you guys, come on, sign up for us. We're going to repatriate. No, we're going to point to other people. Like, those guys who seem to be cause of all your problems, we want to get rid of them. What do you think? Ordinary people in Devon and Cornwall and the home countries, they're like, yeah, I can see that shit keeps coming at me, man. I don't like it. I don't like what I see. That's all we're going to do. And we're going to tell you what we do, and we're going to do what we say we do. And you can't stop it. And you call us Nazis, we're going to send you frogs, and you can't imagine the kind of frogs coming your way. And we did it before, and we'll do it again. And this time they'll be even sharper because the kids are smarter, yeah? Suck it up, bitch.
And mostly unworkable because 99.9% of black people are going to tell you exactly where you can shove your £15,000. So you've got
in their pocket.
Who says we're giving them 15? That's just a working. Mm-hmm.
Nowhere anyway. Bad politics as well as bad morals. And I don't, the video, not for a minute do I regret it. This is a big win for us because we finally have that clear water between us and the far right. And now if we are a serious party, and we are seriously.
Who says if we're a serious party? And we are.
Does she understand how out of touch she is with communication and the zeitgeist? We fucking ripped you to pieces. The amount of messages we've got from Fallbridge and people going, I'm never voting for them again. I never knew what they were like. Are you crazy? And can I understand this once more? Listen to this very clearly.
It's a river in Egypt.
This 15,000 thing, that's just an idea we're floating with. We've got 5 years to work out exactly how we're doing it. And we're not asking the black people to vote on this. We're telling the white people how much you think the black people are worth to send back. We're not asking black people, and we don't care if they wanted to stick in a lot of brown people. We're saying that guy is a first generation person, never contributed, he's done a crime, he's going home. We're not asking him if he cares about the policy. We're never going to ask him. Now, you might say he won't like it. We don't care. I hate to quote Millwall. Nobody likes us. We don't care. We just don't care. But that's not our target base. You can go tell them, hey, look, these guys want to get rid of you. And we're like, thanks for the PR input. Thanks for amplifying our campaign.
Indeed.
Aims to appeal to more and more and more and more people as we go on. We need to put that clear water between us and the far right. And this has hugely, hugely helped us to do that. So I'm pleased about it. It's a big win for us.
Oh, definitely. I support you, both your videos 100%. Some of the comments that were just, because they were turning around, like there's one I saw that I thought was just absolutely hilarious in a way, was they were going, oh, but Mark Collette hangs out with women. And I was like, anyone with a brain can realize that Mark Collette isn't going to be sexist and whatnot to women that agree with him. He only does that, which we've seen time and time again. As soon as someone doesn't agree with him, he then just throws everything he can at them, whatever it is. You're a degenerate because you're gay. You're a degenerate because, you're a woman or whatever, and so on and so on. We've seen it time and time again. So to say that, to try to defend him for that.
Bullshit.
Yeah, but that's first of all, it's complete and utter bullshit. I speak to Mark quite regularly. I tell you what, he's such a lovely chap. He's not what you think he is in private, that you think he's in public. But anyway, just let's do a reality rain check. He's got fucking much far bigger, wider social reach and fans than your entire party combined. And you're telling us, Jay, of course, is just a little chap, a little liberal guy. He's a nice, sweet guy. He's irrelevant. But you're telling me Amory Waters or Mark this, that. Mark has had a pedigree of 20 years. And even the BNP, oh God, I know, even BNP members still hold him in high esteem. And he stood still for 20 years. And guess what? More people follow Mark Collette than your entire fucking party. So you're like, oh, no one follows Mark Collette because he's a degenerate. Fuck off. Idiots. I'm sorry, man, but like fucking like so out of touch.
He literally treats women that don't agree with him like crap, proves what you're saying.
Citation needed.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah.
Well, it proves, that throughout the whole thing, the proof was there. All the, the comments. I can count how many times I was described as lesbian. And that's entirely.
Whoa. Are you not? What do you mean? I'm sorry. I thought what happened to gay pride?
It
What do you mean?
talks like this. That's what I was saying before.
Where's the gay pride? I thought you were lesbian. What's this? Hey, don't deny it. Say it loud. Say it proud. Yeah. Why are you? You're lesbian. You're going on with the gays for Sharia, LGBTQ flags. We're going to remind everyone that you're a gay person. That's all we have to do. Because the majority of people are not gay. Again, like the blacks and the Muslims, the gays are not our fucking priority electoral target, right? We don't care what they think. We're not targeting them. We're not a pro-homosexual, pro-LGBTQ party. And we're proud not to be pro-LGBT. We have non-LGBTQ pride, yeah? What's wrong with that? Yeah, straight pride, yeah?
Regardless of that being true or not. First of all, it's nobody's business. And secondly, why... They were, they're using it as an attack. One person actually said, "Who is she to talk about morals when she's a lesbian?" I cracked up. Talk about
statistics never lie.
Yeah.
Proving me right. So it's either gays are degenerates or Jews are running the world and destroying our countries. Was every second comment. So it's so utterly revealing that everything I said about this sort of thinking is true, and they prove me true. They prove me right just by revealing those comments, and that's one of the reasons to turn the comments back on, because let people see that what I'm saying is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then your channel's going to be taken down, then no one will be able to see you ever again. So that's what you cared about earlier.
We don't want her channel to go down at all.
I know, but that's what she thought.
We want to listen to them. We want to hear you, because it puts like you say, clear water between you and us.
Oh yes.
Yeah, you keep arguing for anti-racism, anti-sexism, pro-LGBT, and a Zionist policy. It just suits us fucking fine. Yeah, we love it. More, please. Yeah.
This is, you got to watch it with YouTube, because
that's it.
They have this policy of you have to now police your comment section.
Yeah. And so we've sort of, I don't really know how it works, to be honest. I've only just learned what trolling means.
You're a few years behind. Just a few.
There's still,
sorry, mate, I think that's 2 decades, right?
2 decades at least, yeah. The invention of the internet. I think.
Keep getting made up, don't they? There's a new one now, isn't there? Griping or something. What's that?
That's why you're going to lose, because you don't know what it is.
Because by the time you catch up with the Overton window, we're already so far ahead. You're like, what is the griping? What are these frogs? But by that point, you've already
lost.
Yeah, you've already been griped. The fact that you use the word griper means we won them. We made you think. We made you say griper.
I'm going to give a Fist of a North Star reference here. You're already dead.
You're already dead. And the more important thing is, every 4 Britain person who didn't know what a griper was, who listens to Amory Waters, are going, Google griper. They're like, what's that? And hello, well, come on in, lads. It's nice and warm at the side. Come on in. Join the frog army.
Come and have some fun.
G-R-I.
I've heard this within the right-wing community, but it's like it's their version of like trolling and sort of like doing ops together. Like, you know how the far left, they would get together and they'd be like, yeah, we're gonna attack this person and say that they're racist and so on. and get
No,
them taken
you
off
idiot.
Twitch.
No, you idiot. You see how
Yeah.
far behind that? That's not what griping is. Griping is a dichotomous choice that forces someone to question a challenge they didn't know what the answer was. And we can gripe everything. It's okay to be white. Islam is right about women. We're going to gripe, and you still don't know what a griper is. Come on, Jay. Come on, mate. Less Teletubby tabs, less gay parties, more internet meme research, right? There's a place called Paul and we own it. It's our home, yeah? Come to Paul, come into our house. It's fucking anonymous. No one knows who you are, and you'll understand what the culture war is. Come on into Paul, yeah? Be careful. Make sure you're sitting down before you log in, mate.
It's kind of like that, but
Right. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. So
from what I can tell anyway. So,
I think
I think the only thing
we've got a few people.
you got a case of happy clappies, love. I don't know what you got. You don't understand what the griping is, and you don't know it. You're listening to another guy who's also got happy clappy. You should probably get some treatment for that, mate. But the two of you have the happy clappies, and none of you know what griping is. Yeah,
Uh-oh.
happy clappers.
With lots of accounts down thumbing me.
Don't dummy me. Sorry.
What the?
Twitter.
I tell you
or
what, sweetheart. You would, if you gave me $100 million, I'd never down thumb you. Yeah, just forget about it, sweetheart. There'll be no down thumbing from this side. Yeah, down thumbing sounds like something you guys get up to in your kind of world. The world we're trying to paint, there'll be no down thumbing of anyone. Yeah, no down
on
thumbing
YouTube, and they don't seem to think I realise. You know, do they think I'm sitting here going, "Oh my God, look at all this"? I know perfectly well what's happening, but thank you for explaining griping to me. Yeah.
Thank you, Jay. You've done us such a service.
That is such a comfortable clip, mate. It's like great. Jay doesn't know what griping is. Explains it wrong. She says, "I know what it is." Claps her hands in a bit of happy clapping to get rid of the other itch, which comes with a happy clap. And then she claps and says, "Thank you. I know what griping is." And she still doesn't know what griping is. So fucking make this shit up. This is
half the work for it. It's too easy.
look at the happy clap. Yeah, I think you can. I think if you had some. I think if you get some. What is it? Some sort of pomegranate juice or something that might help you. And maybe if you want to deal with it.
These new words just come out of nowhere. I've found a new one as well. Grifting.
What is a grifter? What's a grifter?
Now, children, it's learn words with Anne-Marie Waters time.
Sit down nicely, carefully. Have you got your legs spread? Are you wearing a dress and a beard? It's time for grifting and griping in the library. Grifting and griping in the library come by these three beautiful women called Harry, John, and James. Harry, John, and James are going to sit there. They're going to twerk for the little children, and they're going to explain griping and groping and grifting. While they grunt, and growl as well, and grimace.
Grifting, as far as I understand it, is pretending something is a problem when it isn't a problem, so that you can make money out of pretending it's a problem.
Wrong. RONG wrong. RONG wrong.
Where's the competition? I thought this was going to be hard.
This is just like classic material. This is like fucking legendary stuff. Like, carry on.
Where's No Chance when you need it? Can you clip this out, please?
This sounds like almost like who's those idiots from the Armored Skeptic days? What was the name? Shoe on Head. This is that kind of level of fucking. You're so fucking out of touch. Like you're so far behind the queue. Yeah? I'm gonna thumb down your gripe with my grift.
This is. I don't know whether that's true or not. Do you know if that's true, or have I got that?
I think that's correct.
And Jay, the idiot, says, "Yeah, that sounds right, mate. Yeah. This stream is going on too long." Jay says, "I need some drugs, man. I mean, I can't keep going." And that's a grift, a gripe, a grunt, a growl, a grimace. Guffaw.
And I think I know a few examples of what that would apply to.
Oh yeah,
well, apparently Islam is one of them.
What? Hang on a minute. Hang on. Whoa. Did you just say Islam is grifting? Are you fucking with me? You think Islam is grifting? You're fucking somewhere else, love, aren't you? Oi, man, cool it with the grifting Islamophobia.
Or Sharia law, to be more specific.
Sharia law is grifting.
Oh my God! You cannot make this shit up, man. You cannot. Hey, Sharia's a grift, right? Mashallah. When the time comes, you should pay for that. I'm going to circulate that amongst my Muslim acquaintances. Hey, this AMD, this Islamophobe, she thinks Sharia is grifting. She thinks Dawa is grifting, man. Go, Uma, go. Do your thing.
Yeah. Isn't a problem at all, apparently, ma'am. That's absolutely fine. But yeah, the fallout for us, despite the frothing at the mouth, the fallout for us has actually been fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. It gets rid of anyone in your party that does align with those things, because you can be clear, like, we don't like these ideas. If you don't like it, leave, which is brilliant. And also,
thank you. We've just subsumed half your user base. Thank you.
Yeah, they're coming.
Like you said, it shows that these, resisting hate groups, that they're like actually going, oh yeah, like Anne-Marie, we think she's evil, blah blah blah, but she's not them. Them people. Yeah, exactly. So
believe it or not, that's the second time resisting hate have praised us.
Really?
Which is bizarre.
Yeah, you're going to be ignored by them. They're going to go right over you because they suddenly you. Yeah, you guys aren't interesting. Where the fuck are these groypers and the real boys? They're like, come on, resisting hate. Didn't see you there. Hello.
I'm literally on their website now. Come on.
Come on, pop on it. And they're like, but we're meant to
Who are you, Anne-Marie? Who are you?
Like, yeah, you're irrelevant. Yeah, get out of our way. You and the freedom people. Tommy, it's old news. Get out of the way. These frogs are really fucking with us. Let's hope not hate. How can I prosecute a frog that's an icon? There must be we need hate speech laws against frogs.
Indecent imagery?
I'm trying to think of it today. I think it was, once again, it was condemning some extremist thing, and we condemned it. And they praised us for saying, for good for you for condemning this. I thought, blimey. And then again, they've now put out again. I don't care what resist now. I'm just, if resisting hate are saying, or even talking about our separation from the far right, if resisting hate can say it, and this is why I even mentioned it to you, I'm in no business to be pleasing resisting hate. But if even they can say it, then others will say it.
Exactly. And this is what I call resisting hate cope. You're trying to cope here, aren't you, sweetheart? Because you're going to be irrelevant. Because the far left are going, who are these fucking clowns? Tommy's dead. Who are these other guys? PA and all these fucking Groiper divisions, frogs. How come they're on radio? How come they're everywhere running around putting signs? What is 100-handers? Is it 100 men or one man with 100 hands? They're like, hope for Britain, whatever. That's just a lesbian Zionist party. Yeah, like they're not important. Yeah, they just hate Muslims. Yeah, they're coming for us.
They're already on side,
Yeah.
They're just controlled opposition. They're just, we'll shout at them every now and then, and make it look like they're actually doing something useful.
Yeah.
Must have that. If we're going to go into the mainstream and challenge Labour, we have to.
Labour?
What? See?
Why do you think we're challenging Labour? You're so fucking don't understand the political compass, do you, sweetheart? Labour, no Labour voters ever going to go to you. They're going to go to Lib Dem first or Conservative, or they're going to come straight to us because they're white. That's the only way for the Labour voter. He's going to go, hang on a second, I'm white. Fuck left or right. These guys are pro-white. That's what they're going to do. Or they're going to go Lib Dem. They're never going to go to For Britain. Are you insane? Unless you perform some Sharia grifting tricks. Yeah, if you think grifting is equal to Sharia, you go pitch that to Labour, love. Sharia grifters.
Be pulled away from that far right corner we've been pushed into. And like I say, if even resisting hate can see it, there's lots of optimism that other people will see it too.
Okay.
It's good for us.
This is the idea. Oh yeah, of course.
Very good.
definitely. I was going to say something, but no, it's just.
Gone out your head. I know the
Yeah.
feeling. It happens to me frequently. Don't worry.
Oh dear. But yeah, no, I've been enjoying your live streams. I've missed literally.
I think that's the end of it. Actually, I think they don't talk about it anymore. So I think with that, I can't ban wraps it up there, doesn't it? I mean,
I think so, man. It's been a long one anyway. So
it has, yeah. It's been.
but I just said it's been fantastic. It's been like a really good thing to
Oh,
see. And that's the first time I heard all of that, and I had no idea that we were doing so well against them. But I think more Anne-Marie Waters. I'm counting on many more Anne-Marie Waters videos. I think it's going to be great for us, right? If you're listening to this as you're a For Britain person, we will paste this link all over the For Britain comment sections, everywhere else for you guys to have a look. Hey, you know what's right. You don't need bottom of your heart. You're a white, English, Irish, Scots, or Welshman. You know there's nothing for you here. Come on home. Join the winning side, yeah? Just come to PA. I think we're having a fucking blast, yeah? And ultimately, if you are Welsh, Irish, Scots, English, there's nothing for you. That's not for Britain. It's for Anne-Marie, yeah? Yeah, shalom. Shalom, everyone. Hope you have a good time. Yeah, hey, what was I going to say? If I hang up, can I call you later? About 17 of those pills and a couple of the IDF treatment, yeah? Can you sort us out, yeah? Score of IDF,
hook us up then. Yeah, aye. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining us this today. I mean, we'll see you next time, whenever that may be. Keep out look on Telegram. That's where we'll be announcing these from now on. And we'll always be on DLive on Patriotic Alternative. Not the Patriotic Talk, sorry. And so yeah, either catch us there or catch us here on YouTube. Thanks again, and we'll hope to see you soon. When obviously someone decides to put their head above the parapet and try and smear us, the antibodies come to its defense.
Mashallah, everyone. Good office.
Shalom.
Shalom.